There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
The youth of today, like Nelson Mandela, who is now hailed as an icon of peace, must be ready to be called terrorists. We must be ready to be called criminals. We must be ready to be jailed for crimes we did not commit. We must be ready to be character assassinated like Ida Mtwana, Robert Sobukwe, Ungo Potitiro, Steve Biko, Winnie Mandela, and Julius Malema.
We demand that the people who have been arrested and abducted be released unconditionally as a sign of goodwill. We demand that there be heads rolling in the police department because there are people who gave those orders. We demand as young people that you respect our lives, that you stop killing us. One life was one too many. There are people who will never walk again, and that's why we walk on the streets. And we demand that you follow this constitution, because all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance to this constitution. And remember that while you can kill a revolutionary, you cannot kill the revolution.
We don't have a country here. We are useless. If it was for us, I would say, let's destroy this country. Watch the bomoka yote. But for our children and grandchildren. And that's why I support them. Let them teach us a lesson. Because we are jokers.
We've been telling young people, go to school, get educated, then you'll get a good job, you'll be empowered. But in most of our countries, the people who are living the best lives have no education. The people who are driving the best cars, no education. We have political cadres now occupying significant positions in government because they are loyal. Some of them are fantastically incompetent, but they are wonderful people. Unfortunately, wonderfulness does not cure the underdevelopment challenge. We have equated having things with being, so that those who have things are considered more human beings.
Why are you arresting me? Why? Give me a reason. I protest because you're killing us.
Who is killing you?
You police. You're killing us in our communities. Poor communities. Why do you want to arrest me?
Yes.
People's power! People's power! People's power! When we lose our fear, no more killing! No more killing!
This is a message.
Sisi vile vile sio wote ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimfuata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu, wewe umetukosea.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk, open forum political discussion show, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, we are set again to engage concerning our country, its future, and what is our responsibility to see to it that that comes to a realization. I salute each one of you as you join on whatever platform you are joining and from wherever part of the world you are joining from. Thank you. Those joining on TikTok, let's take charge. Those joining us on Facebook, let's take charge. And those following us on YouTube, let's take charge and ensure that we get as many as possible be part of this great conversation. Well, the courts have spoken again, twice this time, about the rogue police officers, the police officers that are camouflaging, riding in unmarked vehicles with covered faces, but participating in the pretext of trying to stop the protest. Well, it's now official from the courts that is illegal and it should not be entertained. We must all operate within the framework of the law, and that is nobody should come in the pretext he wants to arrest you or call you to order without them identifying themselves clearly, and we should be able to trace them thereafter. Well, that is what the courts have spoken. I don't know what's your feel about the same. I would want to hear what you are saying. Well, on the other issue is the SHIF, the moving from NHF to SHIF. It had been appealed that the SHIF Manenos should go on despite the fact that the High Court had ruled against. So they went to the Court of Appeal, and now the Court of Appeal has thrown them out. Things must be done in order and in decency. We hope that this is going to be upheld and we will be able to get the government operating within the framework of the provision of the Constitution and not these excesses that they want to run with as excuse for failing to deliver services to Kenyans. I appreciate everybody. Please, let's like the video, participate into the poll question, and the poll question is about the same. Do you agree with William Ruto that it was necessary or it was important to move from NHIF to SHIF? Your yes or no response is required. Thank you so much for being here. And then, of course, there is a new outbreak of what is calling Mpox, monkey pox, and the Africa Center of is it center of what? Mr. Wangera will come and help me here. Now declaring it as an emergency, and now there is there is keen surveillance about the same. And our question tonight is this now the African COVID again, or what is happening? We need also to dive into that. And if you have information, more information on the same, that's why we are calling upon you. Be part of this great conversation. I appreciate everyone as you join from wherever you are. Let's be on the forefront to invite each other and, of course, participate fully. Sound Candid Talk Live, 13 people. Sound Candid Talk, 18 people. Facebook, 2 people. Let's get the number of viewers increasing by reason of you fully taking charge of your part. Esther Stoll, thank you for being here. Green, asante sana, karibu kwa show. Tunim Hamud, asante sana kwa kuwa kwa show. Boss Lady, welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Favor, welcome to the show. Gitonga, welcome to the show. Christine Mukami, karibu kwa show. Nashukuru. Let's keep going. Kuna nani huyu? Thank you. Naftol Naiman, karibu kwa show. Asante sana. Naomba tukaribishane, hiyo namba watazamaji ipande, na washukuru kila mmoja tunapoingia na kuanza kipindi chetu kwa fujo, kwa sababu ni muhimu tuambiane ukweli na mambo haya yanayoendelea katika nchi yetu na jinsi ambavyo tunapaswa kuyatatua. na ningependa tuanze na hiyo story ya masuala ya rogue police officers alafu masuala ya SHIF, and then tutamleta Bwana Wangira atuambie mawili matatu kuhusu mambo haya. It is serious that the government can deploy unmarked police officers and send them to attack and maim and kill people, and then all of them disappear because IPOA says they cannot trace the culprit. The complainants cannot point out the perpetrators of the ills. This is very sad. And let's just hear the story and then move further.
Still on the justice system, and the High Court has issued orders directing the Inspector General of Police to ensure that police do not hide their identity, faces, and even registration numbers of their vehicles when deployed to demonstrations. The police have been ordered to wear name tags displaying their service numbers as part of their uniform. The orders by the High Court follows a petition by the Law Society of Kenya. And our very own reporter, Melita Oletengis, brings us more.
Violence meted by police officers on protesters during anti-government protests across the country resulted in deaths and injuries. It was an outright defiance of the law. It is on these grounds that the Law Society of Kenya, through its CEO, moved to court to file a petition to hold the police accountable, especially those who hid their identity while unleashing excessive force to quell the protests. In the petition, the Law Society of Kenya cited that the Constitution provides for the culture of justification and that, among other issues, transparency and accountability is entrenched in the Constitution, which abolishes secrecy, and that Kenyans should be able to identify members of security agencies in order to invoke accountability when need be. High Court Judge Bahati Mwamuye, in a court order dated 14th of August 2024, directed that pursuant to the petition by the Law Society of Kenya's CEO, Florence Wairimo Muturi, conservatory orders be issued to the Inspector General of Police not to deploy unidentified police officers to quell demos, police officers not to conceal their identities, and ensure the registration numbers of their vehicles and service numbers were visible. The 6 respondents in the petition are the OCS Central Police Station Moses Mutai, Constable Martin Bae Kithinji, Corporal Isaiah Ndumba Murangiri, Nairobi Regional Police Boss Adamson Bungei, the Inspector General and the Attorney General. LSK petitioned that Martin Bae Kithinji manhandled Hanifa Farsafi on the 18th June 2024 while unlawfully arresting her at a peaceful and unarmed protest. Ndumba Murangiri caused harm on persons exercising their right to protest and the use of excessive force, while they want Central Police OCS Moses Shikuku and Regional Police Boss Adamson Bungei to be held responsible under the doctrine of command for deploying ununiformed police officers to fight peaceful and unarmed protesters. Pressure has been mounting on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority to expedite investigations on police officers who have used excessive force during the demos. IPOA states that it has forwarded files to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions following complaints on police excesses. The matter shall be mentioned on the 17th of October 2024, with the respondents expected to file their responses by the 28th of August 2024. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Haya, mambo ni kama haya. Nashukuru kila mmoja, naomba tumakinike, tuendelee kukaribishana. Kumbusha mtu, show imeanza na tuko tayari kuchangia kwa njia moja au nyingine. Haya, mambo ndio hayo. Polisi wanaofanya kazi kwa kuficha ama kufichwa, au huwezi kujua ni nani, ujui yeye ni mwizi ama ndio gunzi, wala ambao Ruto anasema lakini wanadai kwamba hao ndio polisi. Hii ndio nini? Bwana Wangira, tuambie.
Bernard, how are you?
I'm good. Karibu.
Thank you. You know, You know, the incidences of the last 2 months, Bernard, remind me of, you know, the State Research Bureau. You know, it's the Idi Amin State Research Bureau that used to behave in the manner that, you know, I've seen our police behaving over the last 2 months. Bernard, today, you know, the director of the DCI, Mr. Amin, was asked, you know, where are the people who are kidnapped, or where are the missing Kenyans? And you know, he responded that they don't kidnap, as DCI, they don't kidnap people. Anytime they arrest somebody, they take that particular person to a gazetted police station. And then he said that, you know, he does not know where the missing Kenyans are. That's what the director of DCI said. Bernard, that was his response. And Bernard, remember that, you know, in the last, you know, 2 months, you know, we have been dealing with a police service, Bernard, that was, you know, very, very hard, you know, to put to account. How do you put to account a police service where their members are in masks? How do you put into account a police service where their members, you know, are riding in vehicles that don't have, you know, number plates, you know? How do you put them to account? Bernard, it is the principle, Bernard, not the principle, it is the object, it is the object and function of the police under Article 244 of the Kenyan 2010 Constitution, Bernard, that they must be transparent and they must be accountable. But you know, you have shown pictures here in that video. Did you see a police service that looked as if it was transparent? Did you see a police service that looked as if it was accountable, Bernard? If you are to fall into hands of people who are in cars that are unmarked, if you are to fall in hands of people who are in masks, Bernard, how do you hold them accountable, Bernard? Article 49 of the Kenyan 2010 Constitution is very, very clear on the procedures of arresting a person. If you are a policeman and you have come to arrest me, you identify yourself, you give me the reasons why you are arresting me, you give me adequate opportunity for me to communicate to my lawyer or any person, Bernard, who can come into my assistance, you know. That is the Kenyan 2010 Constitution that we promulgated on the 27th of August 2010. But what are we saying? We are seeing a police service that, you know, wants to operate outside the law. Better, not even during the days of Special Branch, not even during the days of the Directorate of Security Intelligence did our police operate in the manner that I've seen them operate over the last 2 months, Bernard. What we have seen, Bernard, is a police service that was going rogue. A police service that was going rogue. A police service that was operating outside the law. Even their own statute that is called, you know, the National Police Service Act of 2011 is very, very clear on the need for a policeman to identify himself. Very, very clear, Bernard. That's their own statute. Then you ask yourself, you know, why did they choose to operate outside the law? Why did they choose to operate outside the law? You know, that is the question we must keep on asking, Bernard. Bernard, we must be very, very careful. I told somebody today that, you know, you are celebrating them because perhaps you have not gotten on their bad side. The day you'll get to their bad side, that's when you know that, you know, the reason why some of us, Bernard, are agitating, you know, for human rights, Bernard, for dignity for Kenyans, Bernard. You know, we cannot continue having a police service, Bernard, that does not want to operate within the law. Bernard, let me tell you, there is a good example, you know, what happened in the UK last month, Bernard, where there were demonstrations. And a police station was burnt down, properties were looted, Bernard. And you know, the policemen in the UK still operated within the law. despite the widespread demonstrations where there were chaos, there were lootings, police stations were attacked, policemen were injured, but the policemen in the UK still operated within the law. What is so hard with our policemen here in Kenya, Bernard, operating within the law? That is the question that we must ask, and we must keep on pushing, Bernard, that we must be a country that is governed within the rule of law. And that's one of the reasons that I refuse to board this thing called bread-based or Baba-based government. Because how do I board the Baba-based government when everything that I see, Bernard, happening is not being conducted within the rule of law, Bernard? That's the problem that I even have with this Baba-based government. So long as they are not operating within the rule of law, it will be very difficult for a person like me, Bernard, to board. It will be very, very, very difficult to board. Then finally, on the issue of the Mpox, Bernard, I think God loves Africa. Despite the temptations that come in form of diseases. The other time we had COVID-19, where we were scared, and all manners of conspiracies were spread, Bernard, in Africa, and we were told that we were going to die, like chicken, but we never died. There has been Ebola in Africa, Bernard. There was H1N1, Bernard, and we still survived, Bernard. And I even believe that with this Mpox, Bernard, God will still see us through, Bernard. Let me just stop there and allow somebody else to come in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wangira. Good start indeed. And of course, how can you be called a law enforcement officer and you begin by breaking the law? It is a joke that is shared that the first man to break all the commandments, the 10 commandments that were given by God, was Moses. Yet when he came back with the commandments and they were written on the tablets and he found Israel worshipping idols, he broke them. And so it appears that the people who are supposed to enforce the law and are supposed to ensure that there is law and order, they are the ones introducing disorder and violating the same law they are supposed to enforce. That should not be acceptable in any society, not in this current state of Kenya. And so I really want us Kenyans to come out and be clear on the same, that all the police who don't want to identify themselves, they are part of the syndicate of thieves and they should be treated so, because this police state, or whatever they attempt to turn the country into a police state, should not be late to take off. Let Kenyans rise up and say no to this. Thank you. Tumlete Mama Selina naye achangie before we switch gears. How are you, Mama, today?
I'm good, Bernard. Nimesikia mukiongea. Hey, hii mambo ya police, Bernard. Now, kabla hata mujaenda hapo, is our police force independent? Is the, Bernard, tumepatia institutions na tunadanganya they are free, but they are not free, Bernard. I think a real police officer pia wako na shida. We are blaming them, but we are not blaming the real cause of it. Kwa sababu, Bernard, maaskari wetu, they work under the instructions. They are not independent. From the AG to the bottom. Serikali, Bernard, kama nasikia tukiongea mambo ya US, tuongea mambo ya Europe, it is totally different. Na hakuna kitu kama tunaweza compare with our African countries. Police, kwanza, how independent are police? They are not, Bernard. Wanafanya kazi kubwa, hata wapati hiyo mshahara. It is the top cream. Na pia wewe ni nani kwa hiyo kiti. So, unless we change, unless, and the constitution my brother is talking about, itakuwa implemented when? Lini? Tuliongea Moi ikaenda, tukakuja tukapatiwa 2010 constitution. Wenye walipigania walienda, wamekufa, kuna wale wamepaki, but still watu wanaita kartasi. So Bernard, before we do that, na before tulaumu police, tuone where is the root cause of it. Nani ndia, ila askari mdogo ako chini Bernard, anapatiwa punduki na kuambia enda kazi. I think we understand that. Can we talk about Inspector General of Police? Can we talk about the commissioner, the one like in region? Tuseme sasa, mwenye anaongoza askari Nairobi, for example, ama Mombasa. Does that person follow constitution? No. Na yeye pia hata kama angetaka kufollow constitution, Bernard, anaangalia juu. Can you imagine even the junior people can call the police officer na kumwambia this is the order of the day. Na wakati hata anapelekwa kotini, unakuta polisi anaumia. So we need to know as a community. Hata wakati tutapatilisha everything today, for example, tutoe nani, tuweke nani, kabla hatujafikiria mambo ya katiba yetu kama itafanya kazi, kama executive, kazi ya executive ni nini? Judiciary, parliament. If we cannot separate those powers, na wenye watafanya hiyo kazi, watumie hiyo powers properly, Bernard, I think Kenya, I don't know, tutaongea tu, na on my wish, Bernard, nataka nikuulize leo, a simple question, na mimi nataka Wangira pia anichangie. How many holy people wako kwa serikali, na how many young people are in the government? Most of them, Bernard, are young, that we wanted, tulifikiria watakuja ku save this country. But are they doing the right thing? No. Uniambie Bernard, Kenya msima sahi, members of parliament, apart from 2 or 3 who are over age. Same thing in government offices. So who are we blaming? Are we blaming the old? Are we blaming ourselves? Are we blaming the young? They went there, wanachakuliwa pile, wanaenda hawana kitu hata kidogo, and then after 2 months, amepata mshahara, amechukua contract, kitu ya kwanza, kutafuta bibi ingine ama come we stay, kitu ya tatu ni kujua pena atanafaa aje, hata yeye akuwe hivyo. So who are these people? Who are we complaining about? Tunalaumu, tunaweka makosa mahali ya iko Bernard. Muongee, mchiulize as young people, not young to 25 Gen Zs, millions sijui ni ketikani hiyo, ile nyinyi kurubile majority, hiyo ya 50, hiyo ya Ruka, ya Ruto, ya kukucha chini, hii chini yote, hii yote wanashikilia mali ya nchi. Kwani hata hii wase nimesikia Raila, I know you don't like to mention Raila, there are some people wanaona kama Raila ni malaria queen, but ameuliza hivi, wewe pena tuko na vijana kwa nyumba yako, na uko na wachuku, na wako na certificate, na wewe kukaa unakuja kuomba kazi, wewe umelete kijana yako akaandikwa kazi? No, wewe mwenyewe unataka. So tujilaumu. Kabla, ninafurahia chenye alisema, kabla uja point kitu kwa mtu yenye iko kwa macho yake, toa yako kwanza. Kenya ni siwatoe kitu yenye iko kwa macho yao kwanza Bernard. 3/4, and I mean it, 3/4, wale watu wameshikilia nchi, kama ni utajiri, kama ni kasi, ni watu vijana. Sasa mnasukuma hii wasee wafanye nini? Wanashikilia tu, mkitaka advice wanaweza peana. Na unasikia mtu kabisa, go back. Wangira arudi mahali ile wakati ya kina Imanyara Itofu, Imanyara, kina Martha Karua, kina Raila, wakati walikuwa naweza kimbishana na serikali Bernard. They did their part. Ni Mungu batu amewapatia chance kuona vile mnapatilisha nchi. But we are the crying people. Tunasahau, tulipoteza kina Maria Seronei, tulipoteza kina Alexander Muke. Aliambiwa don't go to Busia. And it was a member of parliament from those sides. Aliambia ukikuja hautarudi salama. And for real, lori ikakuja ikabeba yeye, Alexander Muke. Kuna wale mwanansingi, the names, the people, those who are the Kenyans. Hawa ndio watu walikuwa napenda nchi yetu. Wacha hii watu ya mandasi sahi wanaongea mtomo mingi, no action. So, uniambie wale watu penat. I'm sorry, and I wanna Wagira because I think tuko karibu hiyo marika. Nataka penat uniambie the strong people. Hata hiyo wenye wanakuja ongea hapa, wakipika kando huko wamenunuliwa. The sellout are too much. And they are the young people. The older men, hata msee akifanya sellout itamusaidia nini? Amekula chumvi yake, amemaliza. The grandfathers, what do they want? Ni wale wako na ile mwaka ya Mungu. So if Kenyans, if you are talking about it, penat, Court of Appeal, hiyo vitu yote, watu wanajaribu kufuata sheria, church moja mbili, unakuta out of 10, 7 wanakula uongo. Wanapigiwa simu. Hiyo masomo alienda inamsaidia nini? So kabla kama tunataka kutengeneza Kenya, not even tukuje tukae chini. People don't want to listen to. Why can't you have a table, penat? Ukiwa kanisa, kuna wakati ya misa, kuna wakati ya mahubiri, na kuna wakati ya wasee. Watetanu wa mama wanakaa chini. Way forward of the church. Tunapata vijana kanisa yetu hapana. Nini tutafanya ndiye tu win roho ya vijana? Tuachie waimbe tombolo, tuachie wacheze, waruke, wafanye dance. Na ndio watachaa kanisa yako. Ambia hawakuja wakae chini. Mungu tunakupenda. Bwana. Hata rudi hiyo kanisa. Umewacha afae vile anataka. Hiyo ndiye kanisa wanakaa chini. Wanauliza how do we win people to come to our church? Now the government, how do we win these people? Penat, ni symbol. Ni watu tu wanapenda kupika kelele. Thank you. Otherwise, if we want to save this country, let's be serious. Na hakuna hata bibi na bwana mkipigana penat kwa nyumba. Mtu ya tatu atakuja kuambia penat. Na mama atasema huyu msee hata nikipiga chakula akuli, sijui anakula kwa nani, kwa mama na. Baba anasema na mimi nakuja na wewe unifungulii mlango, sijui sasa mtu ya tatu ya ina anasema okay, tumesikia mpango ya mama, tumesikia ya baba, na sasa hapa iko watoto. Tupeane chance ya mwisho. Mama anakasirika, anasema ninaenda hata leo, hataki kwenda, anataka asikiswe. Anafura haya. Sasa baba utarudia makosa. Mimi mama kama ni this is what the country need to do. Wacheni kusema atuongei, atufanye rusha mkono, mimi rushe mkono. Nini itaumia nyasi. Thank you, penat.
Sawa mami, thank you. Maswali nyeti kweli, lakini tutajaribu kuyajibu. Bwana Wangera, sijui kama uko na majibu. Inji hii imelaumiwa kwa wazee. Tuko na wazee wangapi kwa serikali? Bunge mimi naona imejaa vijana, na kama vile mama amesema, hao wazee wako wapi?
You know, Bernard, I don't want to engage into what I'll call blame games. And I don't also want to believe that, as the people of the Republic of Kenya, that we are at anybody's benevolence. The reason why we promulgated, the 2010 Constitution, Bernard, was that we wanted to be governed under the rule of law. And what should be the guide for this country should be the rule of law, nothing else. Nothing else, Bernard. And and that's why every day, and that's why, I want to salute you, especially the Law Society of Kenya. The Law Society of Kenya is playing a very, very a big role in ensuring that, the rule of law in this country is being adhered to. Bernard, if you're a policeman and you think that you can operate outside the rule of law, let me just use the policemen as an example, because they are the people who interact with us on a day-to-day basis, Bernard. If you're cheating yourself, Bernard, that you can operate outside the law, Bernard, it will not take long for your goose to be cooked. Bernard, do you know that the policemen who committed atrocities in Kisumu in 2017, 2018, that resulted into the death of even baby Pedro, Bernard, today are being prosecuted, Bernard, under what we call the International Crimes Act number 16 of 2008. They have been at the High Court crying, trying to plead with the High Court, Bernard, so that they should not be prosecuted. And, the High Court has insisted that they must take plea. In the clip you have just played, Bernard, we are seeing the Law Society of Kenya, now taking individual policemen to court in their individual capacities, Bernard. Those policemen, who abuse, their command responsibilities, who abuse, the law, Bernard, are being taken to court in the individual responsibility, including the regional Nairobi Police Commander, Mr. Bugei. You have just played that clip. So, me as a person, I tend to believe that, any country that grows, Bernard, does not rely on benevolence. Any country that grows, Bernard, must rely on the rule of law. We must just be governed by the rule of law. But if we want to set the rule of law aside and we believe that we can incorporate something else, Bernard, it will not work. It will not work at all. And that's why the court was very, very clear with the police. They were told that, the Constitution of Kenya, the National Police Act are very, very clear that, you must be transparent and you must be accountable. And that's what they have been told. That's what we call the rule of law, Bernard. So, let us not engage in what I'll call blame game. Let us adhere to the manual that we adopted. And the manual that we adopted was the 2010 Constitution. If we adhere to the manual that we adopted, Bernard, we are not going to have problems in this country at all. Because we have a very good manual. It's very, very clear. For example, Article 49 is very, very clear how a policeman should behave when arresting you. He must identify himself. He must give you reasons why he's arresting you. He must give you adequate opportunity to communicate to your lawyer or to somebody who can assist you better. That is the Constitution. That is the law. But the police think that they can operate outside the law. And that is the problem some of us have with them, Bernard. And that's why, I'm refusing these things of benevolence, that because, you think that we can operate under the benevolence of the president or somebody else. I don't believe in that. I believe that we must just be governed by the rule of law, Bernard, and that's my stand, Let me just stop there and perhaps allow somebody else to talk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bonawongira. Before I let you off that lane, you say the only way for us to operate effectively is within the provision of the manual, which is the Constitution. Why aren't we doing that? What is standing in the way of Kenya realizing what the 2010 Constitution gave us? Is over 10 years later, 14 to be precise.
Bernard, there is something we call that, having, a new wine in the old wineskin, Bernard. That seems to be the problem that we are facing, as a country. Because, there are people who have been used, there are people who for a long time, Bernard, have been used to engage in what I call bad manners, and bad manners, is a vice, and shading off bad manners is not very, very easy, Bernard. For example, if you get somebody in your estate where you live who is used to abusing everybody, Bernard, to put him online, Bernard, to a point where he can now start respecting everybody, Bernard, will take time. And that's the challenge that, I believe that we are having as a country, and especially with the police. There are policemen who were recruited in 1992, 1988, 1988, 1990, 1992, 1995, Bernard, the year 2000, Bernard, year 2005. Before we incorporated, the new manual, that was the 2010 Constitution. So as far as they are concerned, Bernard, they still believe that, they are in 1992 when they were recruited. They are forgetting that, we are in post 2010. And Bernard, the only thing that will help us, Bernard, is what I'm seeing the Law Society of Kenya doing. Let us hold every policeman who is violating the law, who is violating the Constitution, individually responsible. We have started with the case of Baby Pendo, Bernard, where we have lined the entire former Kisumu police security team. They're in court today, Bernard, to answer charges for the human rights violations in Kisumu. Today, the Law Society of Kenya is in court. And, the regional Nairobi commander, among some of his policemen, are being accused, Bernard, for, having violated the law, Bernard. So, by taking these people by taking them head on and taking them to court, Bernard, I believe they'll start behaving, because they'll know that it will no longer be business as usual.
Okay, so you say there is a vice, and that is a hindrance to the realization of the fruits of the new constitution. And you're saying the cure is the Law Society of Kenya, or the holding to account all the police officers that are...
I've not said, get me correct. I've just used the Law Society of Kenya as an example. The cure could even be you, Bernard, because, the Constitution of Kenya allows you to defend it.
I don't deny, but what I want us to see is that we are 14 years late. Okay? We are 14 years late. And anything that can go on for 14 years, okay, it means it is even meant to remain that way, unless something drastic happens. Now, what is this thing that we can't get out of the way and realize the fruits of 2010? Because everybody, including me, when we were campaigning for the new constitution, it's because we wanted a new Kenya. Not that we wanted a new paper written on in black that called constitution. What we were looking for was a new Kenya, where the Kenyans decide the president, where Kenyans decide their members of parliament. A new Kenya where every Kenyan is guaranteed of a pie of the resources available in the country. But 14 years later, we are yet to see that. We are still mark timing where we were. So
let me answer you.
Are we able to push this mountain out of the way, or we learn how to live with it? Because it appears there is a determination to keep us to live with it, to teach us to live with it. Yes.
Bernard, I'll use a practical example that even after the abolishment of slave trade in the United States of America, or there was that civil war in the United States of America, and after the abolishment of slave trade, where, the blacks there became free, Bernard. It was such a struggle. Up to even 1950s, it was such a struggle for the white population to recognize, the whites and accord the whites, their rights. I remember, in the United States, Bernard, if you are black traveling in a bus and, a white man entered that particular bus, you were supposed to stand, for the white man to sit. It took, the struggle of that lady called Rose Parker, to resist. Then there came in people like Martin Luther King Jr., people like Malcolm X, who came in to struggle, to try to enforce, what was the right of Africans in that particular country. Because imagine, and those were many, many years, like 100 years after the abolishment of the slave trade. So, it will not be easy for people to shed off the bad manners, Bernard. It will take a struggle. It will take a struggle.
Thank you, Mr. Wangira. That's what I wanted you to tell us. It will take a struggle, and we must accept to go through the struggle and not look for who to blame while the struggle is still on. But thank you. Mami, kabla uingie, let me just respond. PGR, I don't know what you're asking for. Is it the phone number or the contact? You can inbox me on WhatsApp, then we talk from there. PGR, if you have my number, +2547184545585. It is scrolling on the screen, I think so. But Nini, or you can come into the studio and then pick it to a private chat, so that I know exactly what you're asking for. But the Frank is okay. He's been discharged from the hospital. He's recuperating from his house. So if you need information, we will give it to you accurately. Asante. Mami, kwa kifupi kabla msimamo atuletee msimamo wake leo.
Bernard, Wangira is taking back us. We are in 21st century. Nje tukuje kwa hiyo 2010 constitution, watu walikuwa wameona hayo mambo. So are we now abandoning? Yeye anataka turudi ile ya America ile ya 100 years. So is he telling us tuachane turudi nyuma? Because for me, I think Bernard, ni tunakosa trust. Wale watu, na anasema hataki kulaumu. Yes, but civil society of Kenya today, they have a role. Ni kama opposition, Bernard, because they are not even free. Na hata civil society of Kenya, I don't think Bernard they can come kwa police na hata yeye akitaka kukutoa hata yeye anaingizwa ndani. They are playing the paperwork, but not the real things. And if we had some few in law society of Kenya, you can count them, Bernard. So what we are talking here, we know we are in 21st century. Tumetoka kule mbali. Tumekuwa stuck hapa katikati. Tunataka hii mambo tuelewane, Bernard. Where wale tulitoka, walipigania, wametufikanisha hapa. Wale walitusaidia tukapata 2010 constitution. The we that we received the 2010 constitution, Bernard, as majority, tumefanya nini? Are we following that? The few, kwa sababu wale walipigania, Bernard, I think there are not many now. So the we, sisi wenye tunasema tunataka kuimplement, are we doing our work? Are we white dogs? Kama member of parliament, kwa constituency yangu, am I following my member of parliament afanye the right thing? Am I following even the MCA, Bernard? I'm a chief. 2010 constitution, we don't have a provisional commissioner. We don't have a DO. Who is ruling us today, Bernard? We have a governor elected with the people. Who is ruling the county? The commissioner. Do we have a commissioner in the constitution? No, they are supposed to be subordinate kusaidia serikali, but he come and overrule them. So Wangira, I don't know what he is saying, for real. We need to wake up, Kenyans. Tulisema juzi, and Pena, these people. Today I'm seeing, I've been watching you. When things are good, moto tunaenda chukua, the studio is full. Then tunakuwa wakali, tukishindwa kufika mahali tunafika, tunapotea. That is the 2010 constitution. If you are not active from that day up to day, where are the people? Walienda wapi? Walitusiana, waliongea. Then now, tumesimama mahali. Why are we not coming up to encourage? So, Bernard, makosa ni sisi, wacha kutafuta mtu ya mbali. Unachakua the wrong person, unamuimbia. Now, Wangiki is coming to say, kwani unafikiri Wangiki, si alikuwa amesimama akitaka kutoa Raila? Is he a new person? He knows everything. Sasa tunampigia makofi kwa sababu wamekosana huko ndani, ama ametumwa, tunafurahi. Yes, he's the man. What man? And he was there. He's the rich man. Anachunga mali yake. Anachunga wenzake, Bernard. Anyway, Kenyans, we are there to watch.
So Mami, thank you. Let's make progress.
Bernard, let me just say something.
Wangira, hold on, please.
Before Musimamo, just a minute before Musimamo comes.
What is it?
You know, Bernard,
I'm listening.
You know, history is there to help us. And that's why I've used, that example of United States that, despite the fact that, the slave trade was abolished, Bernard, it took many, many years, Bernard, for the blacks in America to get their true rights, Bernard. And that's what I was telling you here, that, it will be a struggle for us to achieve, the 2010 Constitution in the manner that we are supposed to achieve it, I was just using a historical example. And, as a history student, Bernard, it will be impossible for me to disregard history.
I agree with
Bernard,
you. The paradox is...
1 minute, Bernard. I respect you. Let me ask him a question. 1 minute.
No, just hold on. The paradox is, you want to give the 2010 Constitution time and to struggle until it's implemented, okay? But here you are protesting against the ODM party and you're leaving it immediately because they have gone against what you want. So which is which? This application, is it...
what's your question? What's your question?
Different people, different strokes.
Bernard, what ODM did was, a betrayal of the aspiration of the people of Kenya. And I cannot stick to an organization that has betrayed the aspiration of the people of Kenya, If an organization goes to bed with what are our oppressors, how do I stick with it?
But those oppressors are your representatives.
Bernard, 1 minute. Wangira.
Mami, ngoja namaliza tunakupatia ngoja.
Sasa 1 minute. Wangira, about ODM is a party. Na hata we ni member, kama we ni member ya ODM. Ile ungefanya kama umeskasirika, ungeenda kwa chama yako uwaulize maswali. Lakini hata ODM, hii chama yote, Jubilee ilienda. Why you guys you are quiet? Jubilee walikuwa na 33 members of parliament Bernard. All of them walienda serikali. And they are very well there. Member of parliament for Baringo, you remember Tembokot, Kamuket, the Jubilee, the Kanu. All of them they want, and nobody came out to shout. Sasa wakati ODM, for example, wana decide, awacha decide kwa sababu ya chama wengine. Kama ODM today ingefunga nyumba ya Penat, ya Musimamo na kusema now we are folding you. So wewe Wangira ni kitu moja. Hata wakati ulikuwa na kwa hiyo chama, you had that hatred in that party. You did not love the party. Mtoto yako akikufa leo, uwezi fukusa bibi kumwambia ulifanya makosa kunisalia mtoto na amekufa. Unamwambia bibi, tafadhali tuendelee, Mungu atatujalia tuwe na ingine. So what you are saying, kama ulienda unanyamaza, unatafuta nyumba ingine pole, and you let those who have gone to go. Uwezi kuja laumu wali let down Kenyans. Wakati OTM imesimama all those years, why have you not fought for them to be in the government so that we blame them? Penat, you blame somebody, you have not fought for him. Achakuwa rais ya Kenya. So alikuwa amesaliwa kuwa opposition. If OTM will betray Kenyans, ni wakati amechakuliwa kama rais ya Kenya, sasa Wakenya watamuuliza, tulikupatia kiti, ulifanya nini? So wameenda kujitafutia, watu wameenda kulima shamba, wakaenda kujitafutia. You come here, you blame them. Why don't you blame the first parties? Penat, wakati tulichukua members of parliament, wenye walikuwa Azimio, immediately kabla Ruto achaapishwa, kutoka Northeastern, ile machama yote waliondoka, kina Kingi, kina kila mtu waliondoka na wakanyamaza pale. Tulilalamika? No. Tulianza kuambia Ruto uwezi chukua chama yetu? No. So ODM ina msimamo yao. I'm talking as a Kenyan, kwa sababu mimi si chama ya ODM. Hata chama yangu imeondoka ya mwisho pena, sisi tumeondoka kama na Kenya. Why are you not blaming us? Kwa nini una blame ODM? Sisi tumetoka, Martha Karua tumeendelea, tunaenda tengeneza nyumba ingine. Why are you not talking about that? ODM is a strong party. ODM has followers, na hiyo followers ya ODM wanastahili kutengeneza chama yao. If the Baba say right, they go right. If the Baba say we go left, they go left. Niliona Mama Pensuda. She was very aggressive and a strong woman in parliament, and she talked about it. Na akasema, Baba, thank you kwa kukumbuka wa mama. So if you come here, you are telling us ODM, start telling us those people walitoka siku ya kwanza. We want a majority in parliament, and now we are minority. Thank you, Bernard.
Bernard, I cannot, you cannot deny me a right of reply. Eh? Can I reply? Bernard, you are mute. You are mute.
Unmute Bernard. Tukusikii bwana, unaongea peke yako mjomba.
You are mute. Bernard, you are mute.
Sorry, Bwana Wangira, I was the one interrogating you on the same issue, okay? These people you are saying you're calling oppressor, you're calling, I can see Richard here calling them killers, okay? Who are they? Is it Mongiki? Is it an outlawed sect? Is it a group of gang somewhere, some mafia somewhere? Or you're talking about your president, your government, an official representative of your country to the rest of the world? Please tell us.
Allow me to respond, and I want to be very, very quick. You know, I don't want to spend the whole night here like Mama is trying to do. Bernard, she's asking me that, you know, when Jubilee left, why didn't I complain? Was I a member of Jubilee? Was I a member of Jubilee? I was never a member of Jubilee. I was a member of ODM, and that's why I was irritated with the behavior of ODM, because ODM was my party. Secondly, you have just asked me a question that who are these people, Bernard? It is this regime. It is this regime. And I've told you clearly that, you know, I cannot go to bed with a regime that is going against the rule of law.
Amen.
The regime that is allow me to finish. I cannot associate myself with a regime that is going against the rule of law. And we have brought here the issue of the police. The issue of the police here is about going against the rule of law. I cannot associate with a regime that is engaged in what we call undemocratic practices, Bernard. I cannot associate with a regime that goes against human rights. I cannot associate with a regime that, you know, engages in bad governance. I cannot engage with a regime that, you know, does not believe in accountability and transparency. I cannot engage with a regime that does not believe in sustainable development, Bernard, because those are my values and those are my principles. And that's the reason why I left ODM. And it is my right to leave ODM. I don't know why Mama is irritated when she hears that I left ODM.
I never begged you to be in ODM or to leave ODM. And if you did, you do
no,
it by yourself.
It's not you who took me to ODM. It's not you who took me to ODM. Did you take me to ODM? It's not you who took me to ODM.
Order, everyone. Mr. Wangira, you are out of order. Okay? Bwana Wangira, you are practicing what we call double speak. Okay? Because when you came here, you told us the Constitution and constitutionalism. okay, on how William Ruto is in the office constitutionally, okay, and how he's valid in office and how he should be recognized as president. The tune has changed. What has changed? You will tell me that in your second submission, not now.
No, allow me just to say, you have asked me a question.
Ngoja kwanza. Domi shikilia kwanza, shikilia. We are about to commit a crime. I don't want that crime to be committed here. Watu wa comments, mnaniuliza swali gani? Oh, sorry. Oh, Tuni, thank you, my permanent secretary. Anauliza what happened to the names of the people on the Nini. Sorry, we disabled that. Let's just bring it back. It's back. Sorry, I didn't even notice that. Thank you, permanent secretary. That's why you are our permanent secretary. Kuendeleza kazi ya chama. Asante. Now, naomba hivi. Msimamo kwanza, alafu baadaye wengine. Msimamo.
Thank you, Bernard.
Unmute bwana Msimamo na uokoe muda. Unajua, unaona vile line inakuwa na inachemka.
Kwa kawaida mimi wasichukui hapa muda. Wewe kama umenichunguza submission zangu huwa zinaenda na kiwango. Zimaliza hata dakika 1.5 mimi huwa nishakuwa matari. Yaani huwa sipendi kuweka wenzangu hapa nikawakera. Umeona, lakini kwanza pokea zangu, alafu ndugu yangu hapo Joram, kidogo nimuite Joram Kiango, unajua nilipitia hicho kitabu wakati fulani. Lakini kumbe ni Joram Uwangira Gerard Lakini vile vile apokee zangu mama yetu hapa wa nguvu, mama National Unity, brother Domi Etikas. Is it Atticus? Now, unajua nilisemea kwa madirisha wakati ule.
Atticus, my brother. Salamu kwako.
Okay, asante. So, mimi nitakuwa mfupi. Nitarudi pale. Yote tumesema kwa nini katiba yetu haina mashiko, yani miaka 14 na hakuna kitu kwamba yani watu hawajaielewa vilivyo. Langu nitarudi pale tu kwamba mimi kikwazo changu ni wanasiasa. Yaani hapo mimi nitabaki pale kwa sababu wao nadhani ndio walikuwa na nguvu wakati ule wakatuletea haya mageuzi. Nao kile walifail ni civic education back to the people kule kwa grassroots kuweza kuelewa katiba yao kikamilifu. Na iti ingefanywa hivyo nadhani Wakenya sasa wangejua nini maana ya maandamano, nini maana ya kupicket, hakuge kuwa na shida hii. Pili, pia tungebana mbavu taasisi husika. But what we felt wenye wanasiasa wenye walitufilisha ni civic education. So wakawa wanachambua vifungu kwenye katiba ndio vinawekwa mstari wa mbele. Vifungu ambavyo either vitawaweka katika mamlaka, vifungu ambavyo watashinda navyo kwenye makesi, vifungu ambavyo wao wakienda mahali kikatiba. Lakini ukweli wa mambo, kifungu cha kwanza ambacho kilikuwa kwanza ni muhimu zaidi, Mkenya kuweza kuelewa haki yake na nguvu alionayo katika katiba haswa ya 2010, wanasiasa wakatufelisha. Maana hii katiba mimi kimtazamo wangu kama msimamo ni kwamba ni wachache wanaielewa, lakini wengi wa Wakenya wao ni kwamba tu wanaelewa kuna katiba mpya basi. Lakini civic education back to our people was total poor, na sina doubt na hilo. So hapa hata tukisema 10 na kusaza, wanaotufelisha ni wao wanasiasa juu hawajaipa pumzi na nguvu, hata wale ambao wameweza kuipigania na kuweza kuwa mstari wa mbele. Kitu cha kufanya wangehakikisha kwanza imejaa, hata kwa mtoto mdogo anayezaliwa leo anajua ni nini haswa maana ya hii katiba. But imekuwa ya wachache, haijaikuwa na mashiko kabisa kikamilifu kwa watu wote. na ndio hapo mimi inaungana na Joram kwamba itachukua miaka kadhaa kuweza kueleweka hii katiba, sawia na haya mabadiliko tunayotafuta hapa, kwamba tunaona watu wanachezea rasilimali, hawana hata chembe ya uongozi ndani yao, lakini kuweza kuwatimua inakuwa ngumu. Sasa tunakuwa kuotoshana vidole huku na kule. Kwa hiyo mimi kakaangu bena, sitaki niwe mrefu juu, kuna ndugu zangu hapo wanataka wateme nao cheche zao, lakini kikwazo chetu ni wana siasa. Mimi kimtazamo wangu, wala si Mkenya, maana ni wachache wanaelewa hii katiba. Pili, koti kuweza kuungana na Wakenya kuweza kufuatilia masuala mazima na haki. Twarudi pale pale, je, uongozi uliopo kwa sasa na hata wao wageni waliokuja wataweza? Ama sheria hii ni ya mwananchi, viongozi wao wako above the law? Kwa sababu ndio kitu nakishuhudia, mahakama ikipinga, wenye nchi wanasema sisi tutapita, twende. We have seen that. Tumeona hivyo vitu wakati wa housing levy, tumeona juzi hapa wakati wa mambo fulani kwamba watu wanaenda above the wanaenda juu ya hiyo sheria, tena alafu baadaye wanatutangazia juu ya magari kwamba we are tunaheshimu sio rule of law, vitu kama hivyo. So for real, hapa kizungumkuti kina wanasiasa wanatuchezesha akili, kwa sababu hawataki kuhakikisha kwamba wananchi anajielewa, wa Kenya kwamba anajielewa yupo kinamna gani, katiba yake inamuongoza kinamna gani. Kwa hivyo nitaachia pale ndugu zangu, kwanza nisikize wenzangu watasemaje, but nipo. Asante kakaangu Bernard.
Okay, asante msimamo, tunashukuru. Wewe unasema lawama iwekwe wanasiasa, sio wanasheria. Wewe unataka wanasiasa wakusimamishie sheria.
Hawa wanasheria wote wamebanwa mbavu na wanasiasa kaka, kwa sababu hata ukiangalia kikwazo kikubwa hapa tuna vita na malayazo. Lawyers anajua hili jambo silo, lakini kwa sababu ana mteja wake atasimama nalo na anajua wazi hili silo. So tuna kizungumkuti hapa ambacho Wakenya tuna uchafu mwingi tunafaa kurekebisha.
Sawa.
Hili ni fungu baki la lawyers, liache chini
sana. Asante sana ndugu wangu. Ni rahisi sana. Asante bwana.
Naomba msimamo shikilia hapo, tunarejea hapo shortly. Wangira, ndakupatia dakika moja alafu turudi kwa Atticus then Domi kwa hiyo mkururo. So Raila, wherever. Wangira, are you still
okay
there?
Thank you. You know, you asked me a very, very basic question that I've always told you, that William Samoei Ruto, was elected, constitutionally, so is president of the Republic of Kenya. I've not denied that particular fact. I've never denied that particular fact. But, the problem I have with this regime is one, Bernard. This is a regime that does not believe in the values and principles of governance. These values that include, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, human rights, Bernard, good governance, accountability, transparency. This regime does not believe in that. And a good example is the clip that you played when we are starting this program, Bernard. Why should, in 21st century, why should we have policemen who are covering their faces? Why should we have policemen who are riding in unmarked cars, Bernard? If we are a country that is being governed by the rule of law, that is the problem that I have with this regime, Bernard. And when I see ODM, the party that I used to be a member, going to bed with this government, Bernard, I can no longer belong in that party because it has violated the values that I believe in as Jared Joram Wangira. Let me just stop there.
Amen, brother.
So the regime.
Wewe Bernard, usimchokoze Wangira bwana.
Wewe ni mtu mzuri bwana. Wacha Jared. Bernard, you are a good man.
The regime is constitutional. Yet it
is not
the constitution.
No, it is not.
Anyone who associated with it has violated the constitution so badly that we should not associate with that person.
No, it is not, Bernard. The regime
What is it?
Bernard,
unconstitutional.
Bernard, allow me to speak. Let nobody speak.
Wangira ngoja.
No, somebody is trying to speak on my behalf. And I don't want anybody to speak on my behalf.
Let him talk. Let him talk. Kindly, Bernard. Atticus, I request you, sir.
What are you saying, Atticus?
Kindly, kindly, I'm just asking. Let Jared respond. Kindly, if you agree, Bernard, and then I'll respond. Because we've got everything covered, sir. Don't worry. Jared, please, if you allow Bernard.
Can I talk?
What is it? Yes.
Bernard, a regime can be legal. Just like, the regime that William Samoei Ruto is leading is a legal regime. But, the problem that I have with this regime, Bernard, is the manner in which it's violating the Constitution, Bernard. If it was within my powers, Bernard, that I could marshal enough members of parliament, Bernard, I could have impeached, William Samoei Ruto, Bernard. But because, I cannot garner. Bernard,
I love you, Jared. Jared, my brother.
Because I cannot garner enough members of parliament, Bernard. There's nothing much that I can do about it. But what annoys me as a person is to see a party that I believed in, a party called ODM, Bernard.
No, Bernard, no.
You cannot garner a number of MPs to impeach somebody who has violated the Constitution. The violation of the Constitution is the crime. It's not the garnering of number of members of parliament.
Bernard, you don't seem to know. Unfortunately, Bernard.
If somebody, kama mimi nimeua mtu, amwezi kusema you cannot garner enough number of policemen to
of course you cannot, but it's continue. Not the same, brother. Bernard is a good man. Jared, Bernard is a good man. But let me just say,
Bernard.
Stop shouting, Wangira.
Wangira, you are becoming a nuisance.
No, Domi, stop that. Domi, please. Domi.
Let's do this.
It's a fact.
Order, everybody. Now, I want us to get everything in proper perspective. Okay? It's either there is violation of the Constitution, and the Constitution stipulates when somebody violates the Constitution should be dealt with him according to this Constitution. Any other act is not acceptable.
Can I speak now?
Excuse for somebody who has violated the Constitution and you say is in the office constitutionally, then you are not different from those working with that person or joining that person or supporting that person.
Bernard, can I say something kindly?
The problem with
going to
Bernard.
I'm sorry.
Clear.
Please, Wangira Nyamaza. Please, Wangira Nyamaza.
Okay, Atticus, is your turn.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Thank you to everybody on the panel for being here and being patient. Jared, I'm listening to you. Bernard, you don't need to kick him out. Kindly, I'm requesting one gentleman to another. I know he's passionate, but you don't need to kick people out. If you kick people out, they will leave you alone and you'll find yourself alone. And I say that to anybody and everybody, not just you, Bernard, because you're a good man. You know I've been coming to your channel. Okay? And you and I disagree on certain points, but I come to your channel because, Bernard, wewe ni mtu kivyako. You don't need to follow any politician. You don't need to defend anybody. The people here follow you. They don't follow you because you follow a political party. They follow you because you are Bernard. I don't follow ODM. Never have. I don't follow Raila, Uhuru, Ruto, or anybody. But I'm here with you, Bernard. Because I think you're a good guy. It does not depend on them. So I kindly and humbly request, bring Jared back. Understand Domi's point of view. And he's welcome to it.
When Atticus, Wangira is not a stranger here. And Wangira is a veteran here. And he knows the standing orders If you shout in between submissions, unapelekwa quarantine. You serve your
Forgive me.
sentence in
I did not
quarantine,
know.
unarudi. Hiyo ni kawaida.
Sikujua aya. I
Thank you.
thought it was just like a regular panel and people join. But if he's a veteran and he knows the rules, fair enough. But all I'm saying is this, Bernard. If people come here criticizing ODM or Raila, don't get your back up because you are Bernard, your own man. These politicians did not give, humbly, I'm not asking for a response. I'm just issuing a very brief statement. You are your own man. These men, these politicians did not give birth to you. Kindly, we are here for you. I'm watching you, Bernard. Kindly, you have to understand your own strength, your own power, your own influence. So, kindly allow people to speak their mind. I know Mama is here. I know Domi is here, Msimamo, and others, and they will speak their minds. And I'm not going to stop any of them from speaking their minds, but I would humbly request, let people speak their minds, because one thing I will say with this briefly and I'll end. This entire government must go. I was born in the 80s. I saw Moi. I saw Kibaki. I saw Uhuru. I saw all of them. I was born in the 80s. And I've lived abroad and in Kenya. I pay taxes on 2 continents. Ladies and gentlemen, you cry over ushuru in one country. Unalilia ushuru kwa nchi moja. I pay in 2 countries. 2 continents, I do, personally. I don't want to hear any nonsense about anybody talking about give time to government. Government has had time since 1963. Wewe uko na 1/8 of an acre, quarter of an acre, 1 acre, let me give you that. But you defend the regime. You have nothing. You're poor, you're a slave. How dare you stop these young people from defending their rights? How dare you? Na wewe ni maskini. Unajua wewe ni maskini. Tembei dunia pale popote. Kuja hapa Britain penye niko. Kuja washe choo. Come and look if these wazungus look at you as if they're your equal. Come. Uko na degree. Ulisoma. The only job they have for you, washa choo. Na huyu mzungu hakuenda shule. Don't you ever try to stop these young people from defending themselves because you were a coward. You old coward. Don't ever try and stop these young people. Bernard, I love you. Wewe umeweka panel hapa, umeweka platform for all these years to allow people to speak. When other people are sending police to stop people from speaking. Bernard, I can never stop you from speaking. You can have your own political position and I welcome you. But you never stop people from speaking, Bernard. Never. Watu wengine wanatuma watu kuoa watu wengine. I love you, my brother. Bless you.
Thank you, thank you. And as usual, I don't stop anybody from speaking except you want to use the platform to propagate what is not valid or to break the rules of our engagement. Everybody is free to express themselves. There are those who are afraid of saying what they want to say. And to me, as a Christian, when you are afraid of saying what you say, it means you suspect it's either not right or you don't want to stand by it. If you want to stand by it and it's valid, it's clearly judged according to whatever the natural laws of justice.
Amen.
You are free to express yourself. But what I will not encourage is people looking for scapegoats, because hapa kuna scapegoats mingi sana ambayo haisaidii. there is no need of painting me black so that you look white.
Thank you.
I don't have to lose for you to win. You don't have to die for me to live. We were all
Amen.
created by God, and each one of us has a place in this society and this world.
Amen.
So this
Amen.
business of this one should go down for me to go up, it doesn't exist in my philosophy, and
Amen.
it's not biblical from what I know.
Bernard.
So why invest so much effort into running this one down so that we get anything?
Amen. Can I say
Go
something
for what
very
we
quickly?
want and get what we want, other
Thank
than
you.
spending time running this one down so that we get this.
No, amen. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
saying that.
So
And I'm
let's
calling you
please,
just very
and
quickly,
keep your
Bernard.
mic mute, please. Articles,
Kindly.
mute your mic.
Kindly, very quickly. I'm late. I'm in the UK. I'm just asking very kindly. Thank you for saying that, Bernard. Very powerful words. And I agree with you totally. Just because uko na 1/8 of an acre, na wewe ni mzee, do not stand in the way of these young people trying to fight for their rights. Okay? Because if you do, you and the colonialist are the enemy. You and the politician are the enemy. How dare you try and stop the young people from trying to get what is rightfully theirs? Kwa sababu nyinyi waoga. Amen, Bernard. Amen.
Tafadhali, let it rest there. Thank you. Naomba Domi, chukua hii nafasi, itachukuliwa.
Jambo.
Kabisa itachukuliwa. Amen. Thank you. Jambo.
Okay. I salute Reverend Bernard, Mama, Atticus, msimamo mwingine upande huu simuoni vizuri. I think I don't have my glasses.
Si jambo, brother.
Asante sana. Now, I like the debate. We are doing well, and I thank God, because at least there is a place where people speak their mind. I think there is a very big misunderstanding here, a very big misunderstanding, and this misunderstanding is coming out of what I may call anger, asira, of which people are justified to be angry. But I realize the anger is throwing us out of proportion. And let me tell you something. The direction the anger is taking people is making Ruto to celebrate. Anafurahi sana vile watu kwa hiyo hasira watu wako nayo. Because people have lost direction. Instead of facing where they're going, they are turning around, facing in different directions. Because I'm wondering why the whole debate, instead of focusing on the aggressor, who is Ruto, right now the whole debate is focusing on ODM and Raila, of which I'm not saying that they are right. I personally am angry about that. I don't like it. Yeah. And I think, let me say 80% of the country supports the Gen Z. Yeah. We very well support them. And I think somebody said something that there is something, somebody said something that that I liked, is that if the political class decide to be on one side and citizens on one side, to us it's a plus, so that we know that we are on our own. And if anything, I remember saying this thing here several times, na nikarudia. Guys, Kenyans, we are on our own. wachana na political class. They are not going to help us. Yeah? They are not there going to help us. Wachana now. The worst thing that we can do, if it's not stupid, then it's the worst thing, is to derail our mind from focusing on Ruto, yeah, as our target. We start focusing on other things. My friend, wachana na mambo ya ODM, waliingia government, hawakuingia government. That is none of our business. Our business is Ruto. Raila is not earning anything on my nini. It's not earning anything on my back. Yeah? Labda Kenya napata tu out of the political parties. I don't pay Raila directly. So I'm not, so far, he's not, so far to some extent, to a very big extent, sina maswali mingi ya kumuuliza. Mtu mwenye nauliza ni Ruto. Because hata tukiwa na Raila 100, even if we have 100 Railas, as long as Ruto is there, he is the problem. Sasa kuja hapa hivi all the time Raila ODM, Raila ODM. Raila ODM, what are you talking about? My friend, you are making Ruto to sell. You see, there's a day you were saying, at least right now, we have so many Zacchaeus. Really? Is it true? No. No, he's the one in charge. And he's the one we are supposed to focus on. Sasa, people coming to talk about everything, spending 80% of what we are talking. ODM joined the government. Oh, Raila did that, betrayed, whatever. Now, question is, I want to challenge somebody here, including Joram mwenye amekuwa akiongea hapa. Wakati Raila aliitisha maandamano, did you get out of your house? You did not go. How kuenda? You are just equally a traitor.
Dummy. No.
Yeah, you are equally a traitor. Wewe ulituma pesa? Yes. Let me ask you. Wakati kina Orengo. Wakati kina Orengo Wamalwa kijana, wakati walikuwa wanaenda kuchapwa viboko Kamukunji, were they sending their money? They were not sending their money. They went there to be beaten. Walipeleka mili yao kuchapwa. And they did so. They had money, but they didn't send money. We are equally traitors at one point.
No.
Wakati alitoka, if we had 1 million plus, we wouldn't be in this mess now. Guruta angekuwa ameshaenda nyumbani. We did not. Sasa, tafadhali, Raila is wrong, yeah, but let us not put all our focus there. Let us, calling him out is okay. But if we take all the time focusing on Raila, we are missing the point. Our focus is Ruto. Whether aruke juu, whether aite Raila, whether aite Uhuru, whether aite who, even if he drags the whole, whatever, kina nani wote waingie government, that is none of our business. Our business is him. And if we focus on Ruto, we'll achieve a lot. But if at all, kama sasa saizi, our topic all the time is ODM and whatever, my friend, na yeye sasa ndio huyu anaenda kwa nini? We are losing it. Another thing about the Gen Z, to me, I will authoritatively say this. The best way was this. Yeah. Saying, oh, Gen Z, they have scored. They have scored. That is not enough. If we would have taken like Gen Z, watangulie, they lead the way, and we also get out of the houses. Tunasema sasa pale watoto wetu wanaanguka. I remember there's a woman who was saying, mimi mtoto wangu akitoka, mimi nitatoka na yeye. I will go with her, I'll go with him to the hiyo maandamano. Imagine if wazazi wametoka, watoto wametoka, and we have 1 million people in the street. Nini tazuia nani? Polisi wataua nani, waache nani? There is no way we could be stopped. But kuachia Gen Z ati sasa, oh, tuna celebrate Gen Z. And my friend, we are losing it. That is where we lost it. It is, the whole battle is, nini, kunaitwaje huku, Sri Lanka. People went out. All people went out.
Yeah.
To overthrow. Huku kwingine Bangladesh. People are on the street. All people are on the street.
Yep.
It was not only Gen Z. We are missing it. We are missing it. Sasa tunasimama ati tunasherehekea Gen Z. We are not doing the right thing. We should not be celebrating them. We should be part of them. Na Gen Z akiwa hapa, kitu moja chenye nitawaambia ni hii. You need the old generation. Take it or leave it, it's a fact.
Can I answer that?
Everybody is needed there. Lead the way, and let us support you. Tukiwa pale, the only problem is that kama ningekuwa Kenya, let me tell you, kwa street ningekuwa nimeenda. Yeah. Kama ningekuwa Kenya, kwa street ningekuwa nimeenda. Because I've taken part kwa hizo vitu. I would go.
Domi, can I say something?
That's the best thing.
Order. Atticus, you're out of order.
Back to you, Bernard.
Domi, please, malizia. Umemaliza, sawa. Actors, what is it in half a minute?
Half a second. Very quickly, thank you, Bernard. Thank you very much. I'm just going to say, Domi, 90% of what you said, I'm with you. 90%. The 10% is this. It's the older generations betraying not only themselves, but the younger Kenyans. And if you want to discuss this going forward, Domi, we can. Bernard gave me 30 seconds. I just want to say that. But 90%, I agree with you, Domi. You're on the point.
We'll get back to you. You substantiate the betrayal you're talking about later on. Msimama mkono iko juu, iko nini in half a minute too.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Bernard na ndugu zangu hapa. Mimi labda niingilie hapo kwa maandamano ya Raila, kwa nini aliita na watu hawakotokea. Na nijaribu kutofautisha maandamano ya Raila na maandamano ya Gen Z. Kisha niulize hili swali Bernard, haswa kwako, kwamba mtu ametokea na saka kusaidia mahali umeshindwa na kuna mtu anakutesa. Kisha mtu yule ambaye umepata msaada wa mtu anataka kusaidia, kisha baadaye unarudi spidi kwa ule mtu anayekutesa tena upya. Hapo napo ni swali. Na kwa nini nasema tofauti ya maandamano ya Raila yaliyotisha na maandamano ya Gen Z? Maandamano ya Raila yalikuwa yanaingiliwa kisiasa, ndio maana yakapewa majina kama vile wang'oaji redi. Hawa watu ni watu wa kushindwa kila miaka. Yani kukaa kuna propaganda kati ya wanasiasa na wanasiasa. Tofauti ya Gen Z ni hii kwamba wao kwanza walisema hawako na ukabila, hawako kwenye tribalism, they are fearless, they are whatever. Wakaweka katika mstari kwamba hawafungamani na upande wote wa siasa, dhidi tu ya yale madila wanayoyaona yanaenda katika taifa letu si sawa, na kwa kweli yakawa na mashiko. Kwa hivyo tusijaribu kusema kimtazamo wangu kwamba mbona mliitwa maandamano Raila hamkuja. Kumbuka Wakenya ni sisi. Swala hili sawasia tuna ile ilikuwa tunalizungumzia hapa la katiba. Kwa nini katiba haija kuwa na mashiko kwa wananchi, hawaielewi vyema? Na ni kwa nini haswa maandamano ya Raila hayakuwa na mashiko? Kwa sababu alikuwa tayari ashaingizwa hii siasa. Kulikuwa na pande ambalo alikuwa linaamini William Ruto juu alikuwa hawajamuona kikamilifu, baadhi yao walikuwa nasikia tu tetesi. But ikafikia wakati kila Mkenya anaona kila ambacho kipo. So Gen Z walikuwa wanasaidia mzigo ambao ulikuwa umeshindikana. So hapa walikuwa ni kwa kuungana, si kwa kuweza kurudi kwa wale ambao watu hapo ndo mimi nachanganyikiwa. Asante na ndugu yangu Bernard.
Umesema vizuri sana. Msimamo. Thank you.
Please,
asante.
Atikazi out of order. Please keep your mic mute.
Kindly mute.
Thank you. Domi, what is it? You want to finish me?
Okay.
Thank you.
You see, tafadhali hamujanielewa. I'm not saying that maandamano ya Gen Z, I'm not saying that I'm supporting Raila joining the government. Yeah. What I was saying is, the problem with us is we have made that one our ultimate focus. Yeah. Hiyo ndio makosa. Nimewaambia hata mimi sifurahii Raila joining the government because inapunguza nguvu. Hiyo sasa ni kama inapunguza nguvu ya the fight. What I was just saying is, let us not focus on condemning Raila, forgetting that hata sisi pia at one point we have also failed at one point. Yeah. Whether ilikuwa political, whether it was what, but at one point we also failed. Yeah. So let us focus on Ruto. And I think nakumbuka there's a day Bernard was asking a question. Should we not focus on kukimbiza Ruto, we focus on Raila? Nani anaua vijana? Ni Ruto. Yeah?
Yeah.
It is not. Raila, makosa yake ni kujoin Ruto. But our target should be Ruto. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay, order. Thank you. Please, let's keep it there, and I'm happy that we are getting the picture right.
Thank you. Yeah.
The only thing I want us to be keen about is that there are some of us here who want to make laws for others, but they don't want to follow those laws. Okay? The same people who are accusing me for letting people speak, they also don't want me to speak. So I don't understand. Is it this law is only applicable to you have more rights than I have? Some animals are more
my brother? Who's doing
order. Wewe nitakutupa quarantine. Don't unmute without permission, please.
I was just asking. I'm sorry.
Keep your mic mute until it's your turn to speak. Thank you. Now, what I'm saying is, let's debate soberly, and then of course keep everything in their proper perspective. PGR, I've communicated to you qua private chat. You get my number, and then let me have, because Frank's number is a security issue. And we can't share it. So we'll have a one-on-one talk, and then see how we link you to him. It's a security issue. It's not as plain as it looks. If that was the case, I will have attached that number to the video that maybe you watched. So get to me through the WhatsApp number, alafu tutaongea. Kile nachosema ni hiki, hata huko kwa comment section. Let us not drive our agenda. It appears to me that we are so determined to deflate the focus from Ruto to someone else, and we are doing it deliberately, passionately, and committedly. In fact, I should use the word religiously. Before I came to this show, one of us here engaged me for almost 3 hours on the same issue. What I simply want us to debate is, where is the law? Who has broken the law? How do we deal with the person who has broken the law? Where is the country? Who is running the country? If the country has gone astray, who should be? In fact, there are those who are running a hashtag and say Ruto and Raila should go. So we are asking, Raila will go where? You have not hired him. He's not in your office. Are you sacking him or you are escorting him? Are you stoning him? It doesn't add up. Let's focus on what is valid. What is valid is you have somebody in office who is running down the country and he needs to go. And he needs to go, he must be forced to go. But this one of this week, Raila should go. The other week, Wanjigi should go. The other one, Ruto must also go. And this one, Moses Kuria should go. Then this one will do this for the next 3.5 years. So let's focus to what we need to do. Secondly, the platform is open for everybody to participate. You are free to join, but we don't want personal engagement. Personal engagement in terms of taking on one person and getting those personal exchanges. Please, let's desist from them. Talk through the speaker if you must speak, but these personal exchanges between the two of us, and in the process you collide and cause that to spill on everybody, let that end. The mistakes of Baba, what proves that Baba is human?
He's a liar. That's what proves he's human.
No.
He's a liar.
So have you been lying to us to prove that you are human actors?
I've been lying that my real name is Atticus. It's not Atticus.
Oh, so that has proven that you are. That has proven that you are human.
Bernard, a minute, if you can allow me.
We are human because we are prone to make mistakes.
Bernard,
but some of these mistakes.
You muted me.
Order, please. The mistakes we make prove that we are human. Being human means we are limited in our judgment.
Yes.
But that limited judgment is not limited to your judgment of my limited judgment.
Exactly. That means that judgment is not
elsewhere to you. That proves, and there is one constant factor in proving people right or wrong, is called time.
Exactly.
Okay? Time will tell who is wrong, who is right. When we don't agree, time will tell who is wrong, who is right. This one of holding me that I must believe that this person has made a mistake. This is a mistake. We must agree this is a mistake. No, if it's wrong, and we are right, time will tell. If we are wrong and he is right, time will tell. Now let's move on. Joramo, you are saying?
Just like
Mr. Wangira, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just give me one minute. I just say something, Bernard.
Please,
Bernard, I told you that
1 minute. PGR Nangoja.
Okay. I'll try as much as possible. Bernard, I was telling you that if you look at this regime, this is a regime that has violated, all the tenets of the 2010 Constitution. And the only avenue that is there for the removal of the President Bernard, so long as he is in office, is through impeachment. So, what ODM could have done, Bernard, it could have joined forces, Bernard, with other willing partners to start an impeaching process for William Samoei Ruto. But what did they do? They decided to go to bed with William Samoei Ruto. Instead of them joining forces with other willing parties to see that he was impeached, they decided to go to bed with William Samoei Ruto. And that's where I disagreed with this particular party, Bernard. That's where my disagreement with this party came in. Bernard, as much as Domi wants us to bury our heads in the sand, we cannot bury our heads in the sand because these are very, very serious issues that pertains to our country, Bernard. My 1 minute, well used.
Thank you for using your 1 minute very well. Now, let me not say that. It appears to me kuna watu hapa ukianguka kwa mikono yao huwezi okoka.
Tetea Raila, tetea Raila kabisa.
Watakunyonga na hata mtu akikuja kukusaidia watamuua huyo mtu, kwa sababu hawataki mtu apate msaada kutoka kwingine. Wamalize
Gen Z, kujeni, tuko na Gen Z, kujeni nyinyi wote, saidia Raila as much as you want.
Ngoja wachaneni na Raila tafadhali. Kama Raila aliweza kuokoa Ruto kutoka kwa mikono ya Gen Z,
okoa nini? Gen Z iko okoa nini? Raila is going.
Of course. So, order.
Going where? He's not there. He's not in power.
No, he's going to the grave.
He's not in power. Unampeleka wapi? Atticus, you are not telling us anything.
You guys, PGR, please take your time.
Hata mpaka maki yangu imezima. Bernard.
Yes, welcome.
Mbona umekuwa Atticus? Mimi nimekuja hapa kwa sababu yake. Atticus huyo nataka kuongea naye kabisa kwa hamu na
nimeshukuru sana my dada. Nimeshukuru sana my sister. Hamjambo.
Atticus, keep your mic mute, please. You are going against your orders. You're creating problem.
I apologize, Bernard. I was saying hello to my sister.
Goja, stop that, please. Hello. Please. If you push me now, it will get worse than this.
Don't kick him out yet.
I'm speaking on behalf of my audience, okay? The people following the show should be able you're not listening. The people following the show should be able to follow the conversation. If you interrupt at every interval, you're creating noise. You're spoiling the communication.
I apologize. Ask me a question.
Mute your mic. If you want to speak, you lift your hand. I'll give you permission to speak. Don't unmute until it's your turn to speak.
I just did. I apologize.
I will not repeat that. After that,
I just did. I apologize.
Worse than quarantine. PGR. Okay. Now then, Atticus, why don't you come in the camera? I want to see you while I've got something to tell you. I want to tell you something. Please come on the camera. Thank you. Now then, where should I start? Last time on the show, you spoke very, very wrongly, right? First of all, you spoke about God. You mentioned how fake God is. No, come back on camera.
PG, can you come on camera?
Say that again, sorry?
Could you please come on camera? You asked
no, I'm not that good looking. That's why I'm not on camera.
So you asked me to do one thing, but you don't do the other thing.
Hypocrite. Hang on, I'm not shouting. Listen, I'm not shouting, right? There's a way you talk to women, right?
Hypocrite.
And you're a gentleman, all right?
Come on camera.
I like to think you're a gentleman.
Please. Okay. Now let's do this. You guys, it appears Mukona.
Bernard, ilikuwa ni tani yangu sijasema, nilikuwa nataka kusema
what I'm saying. Mute your mic and listen for the conversation.
Tafadhali. Thank you.
For that is not our style here.
I did, but she never added herself on camera.
So why do you want to get even?
No, she requested me this. It's just in good faith.
And you offered, being a gentleman, you gave. So must you get back? Where is it written that give and you must get back?
I don't know if it's out of faith. I don't know.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Let's do this. PGR, make your submission, please. And
okay.
Let's move forward. Thank you.
It's not a big deal. If you don't want to come on the camera, it's not the end of the world, all right? Lakini nataka kusema kitu kimoja. Like last time ulikuja hapa ulikuwa very rude, and I was so right to mention here because even right now you're very rude. And you know what? I'm even so surprised. I thought you're an ugly looking man. For a good looking guy with that pretty kind of face, wewe ni mjeuri bana. Una kiburi kweli kweli. You need to tone down, man. You said you're born in your 80s. You got a lot of years to live. Have some wisdom. I know that word even you won't be able to spell it. The word wisdom. Una kiburi sana na energy yako it's so off. Mimi sikuwa leo najitayarisha kuja kwa studio, lakini your energy man, I can feel some anger in your energy. Ndio najua una passion about Kenya, lakini your energy is so wrong. Unakuja kwa hii platform, unatukana na watu, you come with so much bad vibe. You need to tone that down. Sisi sote tuko hapa na passion moja inatuchoma, ni serikali yetu. Kwanza wacha niki Atticus kwanza kando, he's not that important at the moment. What I'm talking about, naongelea serikali yetu, it's going downhill. Na watu saizi tunaona a lot of hate towards Raila. Ilikuwa ni Ruto. Kila mara mimi nakuja kwa hii platform, nimesema mara nyingi sana, watu wamejaribu kunikosoa nikisema Ruto is a very smart guy. Na nikisema is a smart guy, I don't mean it in a complimentary way. I mean it is a very shrewd, very calculated. Ni mtu ni true, is a true politician by heart. Alikuwa najua, he was hanging only on a thread. Akajua the only person darling of Kenyan ni Raila. Akachukua Raila, naye Raila ujinga wake akakuja akakuwa ndoano yake. He lured the poor man, he lured the old guy. Hasa saizi na nilisema kwa kwanza, saizi kila mtu anachukia Ruto, watageukia Raila. Look at this now, kila mtu saizi, hata Ruto saizi nobody's talking about Ruto. Raila ndio kila mtu anachukia. Na that is the bad thing. Sisi wa Kenya, we don't see things for what they are. Tufunguke macho tuone what things are. Politicians, they're people you can never trust. Raila juzi alikuwa somewhere, I don't know where it is, size of Rift Valley kwa matanga fulani, akisema apparently Uhuru alimwambia I get in contact with Kenya, with Ruto kuweka peace in the country. What does that tell you? Kama hiyo ni kweli, that means these people are buddies. Na sisi tuko hapa tunapigana. No. Ndio manake wakienda kufanya election zao, wanafanya election wanashinda, ama whatever they're doing, or the rigging, sisi tunauana majirani kwa majirani. Unaishi na jirani yako miaka nyingi, lakini wakati wa election tunakuja sasa kwa ngumi. That is so stupid of us. We need to grow up on it. Na saizi naona there's a trend going on. Saizi a lot of and I'm going to call it for what it is. A lot of Kikuyu now are hating on Raila. Where did that come from? A lot of Luo now, when you're likuwaga supporters, diehard supporters of Raila, ni wachache sana wamebaki, they're still supporting that guy. I don't support him. I don't support Ruto or Raila ama mtu yote. Mimi kama Mkenya, mimi I've never voted for anybody whatsoever. I don't think anybody deserve my time kusimama hapo kwa queue. After your time nikae nisome kitabu, hata kitabu ya Genesis ama kitabu ya Deuteronomy, which is very difficult to read in the Bible. I'd rather spend that time to try to read that Bible. Tumepumbazwa kweli kweli. There is a rage. Raila ametulete down. That is the fact. Lakini wote kama politician, they're all on the same, they're all two peas in a pot. Ni wale, they're all the same people. They're all the same people. Rejeto hata ukijana mdogo akikuja hapa Atticus, I can see his anger, I can see his passion where he's heading to. Lakini you're directing it in the wrong place. Hiyo energy yenye tunayo, these politicians are playing us. Let's open our eyes. Biblia inatuambia tukuwe na discerning eyes. Ukiwa na discerning eyes, mtu akikudanganya, you can see it from a mile. Mimi si claim I've got discerning eyes. I'm not saying I've been blessed with that gift. I'm not blessed with that gift, and I always pray for God to bless me with that gift, to see human being for what they are. Kwa sababu watu wengi wamevaa ngozi ya kondoo, lakini ndani they're not what they say they are. Na ndio manake nakuja hapa kwa platform kisema, ndugu zetu, hata domi naone uchungu konayo, we all angry. And I can see even passion ya huyu kijana mdogo ametoka uba mdogo huyu kijana. I can see his anger. Lakini tusiwache tuchezewe na politician. Kwa sababu when we are fighting against each other, they are ruling. They are winning. Hiyo ndo nataka, that's what they want. 25th of last month, Kenya haijawahi kuwa pamoja like the way we were. We were singing on the same hymn sheet in that book. Tulikuwa pamoja. Tulikuwa kwa page moja kila mtu. Saizi angalia vile tumetawanyika. Na hiyo wakati tulikuwa pamoja, Ruto alikuwa na babaika. anaenda pahali bila hata kuweka flag yake kwa gari yake yenye nafaa. As a president, he should be able to move with a flag sticking out, showing somebody very important is moving in the car. He did not do that kwa sababu alikuwa petrified, kwa sababu tulikuwa na unison. Saizi tumetapakaa, we are divided, and that's now he's loving it. Anakimbia Kisii. Kesho mtasikia Ruto ameenda Sibondo, mtasikia Ruto kwa sababu huko ni sio territory ya Ruto, they don't like him. Well, now they do. Mtasikia kesho ameenda huko kwa sababu he's already tried water. Amejaribu kwenda Kisii amekaribishwa mpaka Simba Arati, which I thought that guy was so much, ni mtu wa and a principle. Obviously they don't have principle. Politicians don't have principle yote. They stand in one thing 1 minute, when they're shaken they move, ni kama vile bendera na kuwa shaken. Kwa hivyo kesho mtasikia Ruto ameenda Kisumu. Mombasa alikaribishwa kweli kweli. Karatina Wakikuyu walimkaribisha, wakamwekea red carpet. He's playing just, huyo mtu ametuchezea game ingine only Mungu ndiye anajua. Na tufungueni macho, msiingilie saa zingine. Don't get me wrong, Bernard, saa zingine ukianza kuteteaga Raila pia mimi ukuingilia, lakini let's be kind towards Bernard, kwa sababu yeye akisema kitu he's saying what he knows. Tusikuwe tunamwingilia tunamwambia sijui nini, wote they're just as bad as each other. Badala kuingilia Raila, tuanzie kwa huyo Ruto mwenyewe ndiye alifanya game zake, amecheza game yake mpaka saizi. Who is this guy from Eldoret? Huyo MP from Eldoret. Oh my goodness, anitoje mwenye alitoa pesa nyingi? Sudi, I think so, Oscar Sudi. Mpaka Oscar Sudi body language yake hiyo, kwa hiyo matanga ni Raila alikuwako, his body language, his leg, mguu yake ilikuwa na face side ya Raila. Mimi ni mtu nimestudy body languages, I know it very well. Hiyo inaonyesha welcoming. Akiongea na Raila amesmile mpaka meno ya Christmas ile nyuma kabisa inaonekanaga 25th of December ndio unaiona alikuwa nayo. Tunachezewa kimchezo bana. Tusikue, let's not use this anger towards even mtu mwenye it doesn't even deserve that anger. Raila, change my tune. Don't get me wrong, I'm not his fan, lakini tusi focus that energy there. Hii energy tunaweza kutumia kwa sababu bado tuna window ya hiyo protest. Tukifanya protest vizuri na hii energy na anga tuko nayo saizi, we can do something. I think I'll let somebody else talk. Asante sana Bernard, leo hujanikatisha so short. Nashukuru sana, na pia kumalizia, nimepata kuhusu kijana Frank. Ningependa sana kupata contact yake kwa sababu kwanza utuonyeshe, ningependa sana kusaidia penye kidogo yenye Mungu amenibarikia nayo, pia mimi nibarikie. Kama inawezekana nipata namba yako, I'll get in touch and then we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for not cutting me down. I appreciate it. Atika, I hope umenisikia vile nimesema. Sijasema kwa ubaya. I mean, it's my son.
Yeah, thank you. The number is on the private chat. The private, the private chat on the side here.
I have
where
got
you requested for it. Please copy it right and WhatsApp me, then we'll converse from there on how you'll be able to get to Frank. Thank you very much.
No, can I respond?
Or actors, if you come back and begin to shout again, you go back to quarantine. That is it.
I'm not shouting back.
Now those campaigning on the comment section, this place is not run the way you want it to run. If we ran it the way you want it to run, you would not come here and find it. There is no place where everybody speaks at any time, anyhow they want.
It's
and
fair enough,
there is still communication.
I'm not
so tafadhalini.
I respect you, Bernard. Thank you.
Are you okay? One Atticus, if you are used to not following laws, here we follow laws. And if you don't follow, we force you to. That's why we are here. Because we need to have a conversation that is constructive. Thank you, PGR, for that communication. I also want us to desist from the talks of communities, okay, and tribes. They are sensitive tribes. You mention them, you create problems. We don't want problems. But what I'm simply saying is there is no need for tribalism right now, and there is no need for personalities right now. We are all sinking in one ship called Kenya, okay? When we sink, there will be no Kikuyu, there will be no Kalenjin, there will be no Luya. We will all sink in that same ship. So we either beat up the waves and keep the boat afloat, or we sink with it completely. So it's not a matter of which tribe is better placed or which tribe is not better placed. Let's move away from that. And what I find it very difficult is the politics of moving forward and backward, forward and backward. We move away from tribalism, we go back to tribalism. And then of course the invitation that you people are inviting us into opportunistic war. Opportunistic war never lasts in terms of its outcome. Opportunistic wars whereby
I apologize to you. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Now, opportunistic war is whereby you want to take advantage of the weakness of your enemy and finish him because you have found his weaker spot. If you bank on that, you may win, but your win may be cancelled because you did not fight fairly and you do not fight according to rules. Kenya will only be fixed when we are willing to do what is right to fix it. But as long as we want to take advantage of something, a situation, an arrangement, and move so fast and catch. Now, my favorite preacher, R.W. Shambach, used to say that preachers treat the new converts as if they have been inoculated, okay? And I may repeat prayer, catch them quickly, put them in one room, teach them this, because if you don't, they will backslide. As if they are the ones that made them to be saved, and so they must hold them lest they do that. It's not that way. Our war for a better Kenya continues, and it may last. It can even outlive us. So what we need is to remain focused and find out. In fact, some of us, we are fighting for a better Kenya, but we will ask you, which Kenya do you want? Many of us will not tell us which Kenya they want. They just want Ruto to go. What kind of Kenya do you want? What kind of Kenya are you fighting for? When you ask that, you say, no, we'll worry about that after Ruto is gone. Now, that's a good way to fight, but if that's the case, then we'll end up with the same Kenya like we did after we chased away the white man. The white man boys were filling the seats while we were in the bush, still checking whether the white man has gone. We must not repeat history. Let us be focused and fight with an understanding that this country can only be fixed if we are willing to do it the right way. But if we want to do it the wrong way, we'll end up with the wrong results that we have always ended up with, from colonialism, from Jomo Kenyatta to Moi, from Moi to Kibaki, from Kibaki to Uhuru, from Uhuru now to Ruto. We'll end up the same place because we are not paying attention to details. If you want to fight rightly, you must pay attention to details. The devil is in the details. But Kenyans don't want details. They want ready, go. And then they run in all directions. That's not how to fight. So slow down. Let's get things done the way they ought to be done. Msimamo umeinua mkono, unataka kunitolea sadaka. Sadaka hapa.
Nataka kumalizia tu hapa, nitimke leo nijipumzishe mapema, sijisikii poa vile. So nataka tu nimalizie, then nipishe wenzangu hapa. Na la kumalizia ni hili. Vita hivi ni kati ya viongozi ambao wamekaa hapa, hususan hawa walio katika madaraka. The way wanalipeleka taifa letu, na hope Kenyans ndio tumechoka. Na kwa sababu tumechoka, tukitaka kufaulu hivi vita, kimtazamo wangu Bernard, sharti tujitenge sasa hivi na masuala mazima na hawa wanasiasa. Kimtazamo wangu, tusiingize sana maneno yao, waache wafanye vitimbi vyao, na sisi kama Wakenya tuangalie letu ni jinsi gani ambavyo tunataka tuongozwe. Maana kitu kinachotumaliza hapa ni jinsi tunavyoongozwa tangia uhuru mpaka sasa hivi. Mifumo inayotumika na wanasiasa kuweza kutuongoza ama kuweza kutugawa, tumekuwa na mapungufu haswa kama Wakenya. So ni wakati ambao sasa hivi ni kuweza kusimama haswa kidedea, haswa kuhakikisha kwamba hii wanasema ni nchi ya sheria, basi iwe sheria inafuatwa kikamilifu, na kama ni nchi inaongozwa na katiba, katiba hiyo inafuatwa kikamilifu. Kutimika kwa hili ama kutimilika kwa hili, sharti tujiondoe kabisa masuala mazima na hizi sarakasi, tutaweza kufaulu kama Wakenya, kwa sababu vita hivi tukifaulu kuweza kuleta uongozi mpya na sura mpya katika taifa letu, ni kwa ajili ya taifa, na taifa ni walio ndani ya hilo taifa. Haibagui kwamba ni hawa kabila hii wa kabila ile wala hawa. So for real, mimi mtazamo wangu nikifunga Bernard, nitasema kwamba Wakenya ni sisi wenyewe tuamue kusuka ama kunyoa. Tukizama ndani ya wanasiasa tumeisha. Na la mwisho kabisa, tukubaliane hapa, kosa likifanyika tukubaliane wote kikamili kwamba hili limefanyika, ni kosa. Hapa tukianza kuzozana, hapa pasiguswe, pale pasiguswe, pale pasiguswe, kila siku tutalizungumzia hili kwa sababu kuna watu wanaumia katika nyoyo zao. So for real, tukubaliane, wanasiasa kile wamefanya hakikutufurahisha, kwa sababu tayari nyani huyu alikuwa jangwani, sasa ona karibu analegea tena katika miti, tunaanza tena kufukuzana na tena tumlete jangwani. So Wakenya, nafasi tunayo na nguvu tunayo, ni ushirikiano wetu tu ndio ambao utaweza kutusaidia kuweza kumaliza hivi vita, kwa sababu tayari tunajua kosa lililopo ni uongozi uliopo kwa sasa, na lazima tudeal nao. Tukiacha hivi visarakasi, itafika 2026 hao bwana waungane, waanze kutupa pesa, waseme economy imepanda, uchumi umepanda, kwa hivyo mambo yamekuwa shwari, kwa sababu wanajua 2027 itakuwa inatukodolea macho. Wao tena wataanza kuungana katika mifumo ya mirengo na vyama na kuanza kutuviana uchafu wa maneno, kisha mwisho wa siku wanarudi tena wao ndio wanaweza wanatulia ushuru wetu na rasilimali zetu kiholela kiajabu ajabu. So for real, tusiwape nafasi ya uongozi, kusiwe na 2027 election mpaka tujue kwamba ni akina nani tutakaosimamisha pale, watu ambao watakuwa wanawaogopa wananchi, kwamba kumbe sisi tumekuwa hapa kwamba tuwafanyie kazi wananchi, si tujilimbikizie mali. So kuna vitu vingi ambavyo wakati tunafaa tuitengeze hii safari, kwa sababu uchafu huu umekaa 60 years. Si rahisi kwamba tutasafisha kila kitu kwa wakati mmoja kama ulivyotangulia kusema. Tukiyafuata spidi, wengine watatimka kwenda huku, wengine huku, tutashindwa. Kwa hivyo kwa kweli naungana na wewe kakangu Bernard kwamba ni wakati wa kuweza kwamba tunasafisha uchafu. Mimi mtazamo wangu nikimalizia, naona hakuna haja ya 2027 kabla hatujapata mwafaka kamili ya viongozi akina nani tutaweza kuweka katika nyadhifa za uongozi. Vinginevyo kusiwe na uchaguzi mpaka tukubaliwe mataka yetu, kwa sababu tumeona sheria, vyombo vya sheria vinavyolemeaza kesi kama vile hazizi za mauaji up to date, hakuna cha maana kunachokishuhudia, na watu wamepoteza watu, na hayaanzi leo, yameanza tangia awali. So hakuna geni hapa. Hiki kinachozuia taasisi zetu ambazo zipo zinazotutetea sisi kuweza kuipata haki na hazipewi nafasi ni hawa wanasiasa. So tukubaliane hapa, ubovu wetu kwa wanasiasa, tukiingiza katika wanasiasa katika mtego wa wanasiasa, Ruto atakuwa ameshinda kama alivyozungumza huyu dadangu aliyotoka hapa. Tukijiingiza kwa Raila, kwa nini ameungana na serikali, haanzi leo. Kwa hivyo tutaanza kupoteza dira letu. Ni tuhakikishe kwamba Ruto hatumpi pamzi na hatumpi mbavu za kuja kujirasua. Sharti ang'atuke pamoja na watu wake, na wale wote watakaweza kumfuata uende nyumbani. Hili si kwamba linashindikana, lakini nahitaji umoja mwingine ambao tutatengeneza hiyo daraja kati ya wanasiasa na wananchi, ili sauti ya mwananchi isikike. Watu wakiingia kwenye nyadhifa za uongozi waelewe kwamba wamewekwa kwa ajili ya wananchi.
Takbir.
Nitaachia pale.
Takbir. Allahu Akbar.
Msimamo. Kabla uende wacha nikunaze. So unataka tuingie kwa tunyakue uongozi wa kisiasa bila siasa.
Ni hivi Bernard, palipofikia ni hivi sawa sawa.
Kama
tukitaka kushinda ni yale maswali ambayo yalikuwa yanaulizwa na vijana. Swala la corruption, wale ambao tunaona kwamba wana masuala ya corruption, tujue dalili yao iko wapi, tujue kwamba ni nini kimefanyika hapo. Kama ni masuala ya kulipa deni, tuelezwe deni hili limeenda kinamna gani, limeenda kiwe, kila kitu kunakuwa na uwazi. Kama ni kesi kama hizi za police brutality, tuweze kuzifuatilia, tujue ni nini. Haya ndo maneno ambayo tunaweza wakwamisha hawa wanasiasa wote. So ni wakati wa kuwakaanga kwa yale mafuta waliojitengenezea wenyewe. Tunataka proper, tuelezwe vitu paruanja kabisa, nini kimefanyika hapa. Mbona kesi hizi za mauaji polisi waliweza kuua watu wetu, mbona? Kwa hiyo hawa wakileta mambo yao kutotaka kutuvuringa, sisi tunasimamia pale kwamba tunataka kujua ni nini. Tukimaliza hili tunazusha lingine, tukimaliza hili tunazusha lingine, vile ambavyo wameanza Gen Z kuanza na finance bill, kisha baadaye kaje kaanza kumshika wasiwasi kina Kiwewe mpaka akafuta mawaziri. The same thing na wabunge wakawa pia hawaji, hata nyumbani hawaendi, wameanza kukaa huko hewani, hasa kwa makwao haonekani. Hapo ndo likuwa ndio tumefika. So kikwazo kilikuja na wanasiasa hapa, ndo walituvuruga, kwa sababu wanajua wao mwisho wa siku watazima huu moto na watakaa pamoja, wao wataendelea kula minofu na sisi tungojee tu maembe chini ya mnazi. So mimi mtazamo wangu ni huo, si kwamba hapa tunazungumza masuala ya siasa. Siasa tushaiona. Ni tunataka sasa yale maelekezo kwa mujibu wa katiba. Bora tuwe hatuendi nje ya katiba yetu.
Okay, Msimamo, nashukuru. Asante sana kwa maoni yako. Tunashukuru kwa wewe kuwa sehemu ya kipindi hiki. Unajua ndio mhenga wetu. Lazima tujifunze kufuata misemo na semi ambazo ni za muhimu tena za kweli. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to engage, please let's ensure that we are sharing the link. Sijui kura tumefikisha wapi katika masuala ya kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu anasikika ama anasikia kile ambacho kimesemekana. So I'm going to refresh to get the number of vote thereafter. I need those who are coming to the studio to come in. We are on the last leg, unless we get we get another driver to run the remaining part of the show. We are 2 hours 13 minutes 2 am. Mimi nitakuwa naanza kungatuka, kwa hivyo naomba wale ambao ni wakereketwa kina Kenyan would love muwai mapema, na wale wengine ambao wanaingia shule ya usiku, basi muwai shule ya usiku, lakini masomo na syllabus sisi ndio tunaamua. Sisi ndio wenye Ministry of Education. By the way, Minister of Education ni nani? Is he better than Machogu ama worse than Machogu? Are we from the frying pan into the fire, or we are still
from a
plate waiting to get to the frying pan? We will get into that. Let me get the verdict of our poll question. We are asking you tonight on do you agree with Ruto that it was important to change from NHIF to SHIF? According to the verdict here, we have 112 people have cast their vote. Of the 112 people who have cast their vote on our main channel, only 6% say yes and 94% say no. Unfortunately or fortunately, only 38 people have liked the video. I don't know which medicine I'm going to use so that you people can like the video like we are supposed to, but no problem. On the backup channel, Sound Country Talk Live, Do you agree with Ruto that it was important to change NHIF to SHIF? 57 people have cast their vote. Verdict, 11% say yes, 89% say no. So the majority of Kenyans are not with Ruto on almost all his changes, and it is super majority, which it means that William Ruto is doing his own thing, not what the Kenyans have required of him or desired of him. Well, let's keep voting, and please come on, Uja like video, Rudu like video. It's important, especially those of you following us on YouTube. It is important to like the video. When you like the video, you help the logarithm know who to share the video with and promote the video too. So if you don't react on the video in any way, the logarithm does not locate you. You remain a lost person, although you may be resident here. Thank you very much. So Domi, if you're coming back, njoo tumalize kipindi pamoja. Kama umeng'atuka kutuaga, kuja utupatie salamu zetu za kuaga, alafu tumalize pamoja. Mama Selina, are you there?
I'm sorry.
Ngoja. Mama, are you still there?
I'm the only one on camera, but okay.
Okay. As you like yourself, huh?
No, of course I like myself, because the rest of you don't like yourselves. You're willing to be slaves for Raila or Ruto or Uhuru or
who tells you that? Liking yourself.
You do.
Liking yourself. Oh.
I love myself. I work hard for myself. I pay taxes for myself. I don't break the law for myself. But the rest of you, willing to support slavery, live in slavery, you deserve it. Because you support Raila, you support Uhuru, you support Ruto, whichever faction, you're a slave.
No, actors, what makes you think that Uhuru, Ruto, and Raila need support?
Because they ask for it. They do not go there in front of rooftops and saying, "Munipigie kura."
No. Support. What do you mean support?
I mean support. Kura. Votes.
Voting and support is one the same thing, according to you?
I'm sorry. Is when you vote for somebody, are you not supporting their policies?
No, you are ratifying their
Kenya, because I'm in the UK, or in Kenya, you Africans do things so separately from the rest of the world, and you wonder why you're at the bottom.
You are now discriminating against us. And we will not take that lightly.
I'm an African, because I thought when you vote for somebody...
Why are you saying you Africans? You should say we Africans.
No, because
you have already exempted yourself from us.
I'm trying to tell you, but you're talking over me. I don't know. Are you a Rutoite? Are you a son of Ruto? Unapenda kuongea tu, kutenda juu ya watu. All I'm saying is this. When you vote or support somebody, you support whatever they do or whatever policies come with them. The rest of the world, all the rest of humanity, unless you think you are a different being, the rest of humanity knows this. When these wazungus over here, next door to me, jirani wangu, unaona where I point, not where you are, jirani wangu, mzungu, huyu, when he votes for his fellow mzungu, it's not because of the color of his skin. He doesn't care. It's about the policy. But in Africa, Raila, like slaves. Ruto, like slaves. Uhuru. Mount Kenya, like slaves. And you wonder why the rest of the world treat you. They don't treat me like that. Because I don't allow them. They're not my friends, and I let them know this. And when I show them I have intelligence, they go, this African is different. It's not like the rest of them. The rest of them worship us. This one here doesn't smile with us. That's why I don't have to smile with anybody. I have money in my account. My mother and father, I don't send them money. Anjaluo, meaning Jaluo, I don't worship Raila. They never did anything for my family. And they know it. Raila family know mine. He sees my face. I don't need to tell you. He knows my face. Agwambo, ingeo babana, ingeo mamana. You know us. You never did anything for us. And here we are. You see my shirt? Agwambo, I'm talking to Raila. You see my shirt? I was here in 2012, Raila. Agwambo, did you help me to get here? Huh? Did you help me? Kenyans, be free.
Atticus,
and
what
I
is
love you,
your point,
Kenyans.
please?
I love you, Kenyans. My point is, I love free Kenyans. I love you all. Fight for your freedom. These people are nothing but slave traders. Love yourselves, love each other, love your children. Bernard, deep down, I know you're not a bad man.
No,
and I love you, and I
I
respect
don't want to
you,
be
and
a
I
good
wish you the
man. I don't
best.
want to be a good man in a
don't-
bad man's book. I don't want to be a good man in a good man in a bad man's book. Atticus, you have shown to us that you don't care about anyone else except you.
I just said I love you.
God, yeah, telling me you love me doesn't necessarily
And
mean
you're telling
anything.
me I don't love myself.
It's normal. It's normal.
Are you like Ruto? I told you I love you. I love
Make
you. I love you, my brother, my brother.
Look
my
at my
brother,
face
my brother.
very well. Look at my face very well.
Are you
I don't
looking
look
at
very
mine?
different from Ruto.
Are you looking
So-
at mine? My brother, are you looking at mine? I love you. My brother, I love you.
So let's do this, please.
Muluya
Order.
mwenzangu shemeji. I
Order.
love you. I love you, my brother.
Thank you for the love. But let's get this in proper perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, as we engage, let's remain focused is important. Yale mambo ambayo tunakutana nayo ni mengi. Cha muhimu hapa ni lazima tujifunze kuvumiliana, kupendana. Kuna ile inaitwa sacrificial love.
I love you, my brother. I love you. I love you.
Kuna ingine inaitwa forced love.
I
In
love
Africa,
you.
we have forced marriage.
I love you.
And
I love you.
whichever the case, let God help all of us. Now, naomba hivi.
God help you, my love.
Atticus, please mute your mic. I'll
you.
ban you from studio. You are now turning this
I
one
love
into
you
a
and you're
comic
banning me.
studio.
I love
Please,
you and you're
we are not a comic studio.
I love you and you're banning me.
I will do that because you are turning our studio into a comic studio when we don't do that. If you want us to have a comedy show, I will arrange one for you, okay? And give you your own hour or 2 hours to do that on your own.
We love you. Don't worship
But
Raila.
please,
We love you.
don't mix this. Nobody's worshiping Raila. You are the one who's afraid of Raila. And I
We're
don't
not
know
afraid
why.
of Raila. Agwambo,
You fear him, you talk about him, you sleep him, you wake him. You are more Raila maniac than anyone else. But
You know what? Atticus. Now, listen. You know, let me tell you. The problem with you is that you are a slave of pride.
No, you're a slave of Raila. That's your pride.
Okay, take it that way. No problem. But you're a slave of pride.
No problem. But you're a slave
now
of
listen.
Raila.
You are a slave of
you
pride.
are a slave of Raila.
So that is why. First of all, you don't want to listen.
No, I'm
you assume you assume everybody's less. That is called pride.
And Raila.
Unfortunately, pride comes before a fall.
You just
let's do this. Domi, just leave it there. Atticus is a special person.
I think so, so far Tikas is just a
Let's agree that
okay.
That is not part of what we stand for. That's not what we do here. And the Raila hate is as good as Raila love. And the only person who was able to tell that was Wamano Kijana, the late, that those who love Raila love him completely, and those who hate him completely. But he's the fulcrum of our politics until further notice. And so I would want us not to dwell into personalities unnecessarily, number one. And number two, we want to talk about SHIF and a monkeypox outbreak in Africa. But it appears that everybody is caught up into the Raila maniac, Raila this, Raila that. It's very difficult to be a Raila Odinga by all indications. There are those who believe in you, they don't want to believe in you again. There are those who abandon you and then they can't stop talking about you after they abandon you. There are those who are going to blame you for anything. I'm sure this monkeypox is going to be blamed on him. And the collapse of the cases, Pierre, they will say it was not until he appointed the Attorney General that cases began to collapse. But all in all, I think as Kenyans, let's remain vigilant. Let's do what we need to do. And let us ensure that we correct the wrongs that have bedeviled this country. I don't know which Kenya you want, but I would want us to have an understanding that the only Kenya that works is a Kenya that talks to each other and the Kenya that wants to work with each other. The Kenya that is divided at the middle and is fighting against each other has never worked from independence. And that is why I'm saying this perpetuation of hate and, running down of other people simply because you don't like them is not helping this country and is not helping you. And so let us not be sucked into personal preferences. Your personal preferences is not a law. Okay? You may not like my tie. I like it. I prefer it. But if I say everybody must put on this tie, now I'm making my personal preference to be someone's preference, and that's what results into bondage. But I should have the liberty to like my tie, okay? And you like yours. But you should not stop me from liking my tie simply because you don't like it. It is you who don't like it. Me, I like it. I should have the liberty to like it. And stop lying about my tie. Because I like it. You don't like it. So tell me the truth, you don't like my tie, but I like it and leave me to have it. So tuache hii maneno ya kuimpose your personal preference. You don't like this and so you want everybody to join you in not liking. This hate recruitment should stop. If you want to choose to live by hatred, hatred is a limiter. Love is a liberator. Okay? If you want to live in hate, live there alone. Don't invite us there. If you want to live in love, move there and live there. Don't force people there. But you will tell there is a difference when you are driven by love and when you're driven by hate. Those who choose to be driven by hate, they are short-lived in their hate because hate binds. It does not liberate. Domi, before I turn into a sermon, Karibu.
Yeah, okay. I see there's on our topic today.
Mukora nimekuona.
Niko mahali pabaya but naumwa.
Umekuja na kiko na kwaja
najua niko na mwiko na naumwa, sina time.
Kiko sio mwiko, ni kiko, najua ile msokoto.
Yeah, niko nayo. Domi tafadhali nakuomba. You're weni nini hapo please.
Ongea.
Bernard. Unajua, I don't know, unajua najua Gen Z wamekuingilia hapa siku hizi, kukuchafua hata wenye but
sio Gen Z ni nyinyi.
Ni wanna be Gen Z eh? Kila mtu ni Gen Z siku hizi, hata ule mwenye amezeeka.
Mpaka mmeanzisha opposition party. Kwa hii channel.
Ndio hiyo nilikuwa.
Wanaimba Bernard must go.
Bernard must go.
It is there. I'm fully aware I'm in the picture.
No, but Bernard, I come back with for the people who have been here, and Bernard, allow me, because you don't like to do this. I don't think I ever lost my. For those who know me, Badoni, the Kenyan with love. I'm one of the cabinet of this constitution that we have here, this government that we have here, in the name of sound candid talk. But I'm also the disciplinarian. Nimeisema vizuri. Sidhani kaa nishailuzio kiti Bernard. Have I ever lost that seat? I think I'm still the disciplinarian.
That's why I'm wondering, what are you allowing under your watch to continue?
Exactly. So
to continue under your one.
Yes, I came to read the Riots Act. And this is the Riots Act. Sometimes Bernard cannot do that because he's the chair. Yeah, na kwangu uko juu na unajua pia ni pastor. Mimi si pastor, lakini naendanga kanisa. Ladies and gentlemen, before sasa nirudi kwa just statement yangu, and thank you Domi for that. Ladies and gentlemen of Sound Candy Talk. This channel, when we started it, was a very serious channel. Has been a serious channel for more than 3 years now. This name shaming, comical things, this is not what we wanted to do. And this is not what this thing has been. Now, you might have a difference of opinion, and that's okay. All the moderators and all those people that have rights in this channel understand that there's a difference of moderation and difference of operation and difference of everything. I'm just trying to start giving people warning, because I can do this from the kitchen cabinet. Najua watu wenye wanakuja hapa kusumbua, who are not coming to the, because I always watch hata nikiwa huko nyuma. And I'm sorry, I decided never to kuanza kutoa watu. Mimi ndio nitaanza kutoa watu. We want this channel to be a serious channel as it has been. Yes, we understand there's something that is happening in Kenya, including even me. I have a different opinion with Bernard. I was an ODM member every time since I became, came into politics so much. But yes, I have a difference with Raila in his decision. But you don't see me coming here ratting. We want to talk about serious issues so that we can be recognized and we can be seen as a serious channel. We are starting to lose people because of the back and forth, the comical things. This is not that kind of a channel. And like you heard me say, and you can see Mr. Bernard amenyamaza. Mimi ndo nakuanga huko nyuma, mimi ndo nitakutoa. Ukitolewa usishangae ni kwa nini, because we need to have serious conversations here. The difference of opinion can be, but we are not going to have that back and forth where you cannot listen to the moderator, you cannot even listen to the chair. Mimi siogopagi mtu, mimi ndio nitakutoa. Hata msiende kwa Bernard, nitafute, mimi ndio nitakutoa. For those who are listening, the panelists na wale, you will not know when utatolewa hapa. Na hiyo hakuna kitu, hata ukiendea Bernard hata kurudisha. So I'm just reading the Riots Act because I've been seeing some people are coming here, and yes, Raila has done something. Si kila mtu ako comfortable with what is happening, but that is the reason we have these channels. If you're not comfortable to be here, enda NTV tuone kama utapata airtime. So Bernard, I wanted hiyo imeniuma sana because I can see something, some people that are coming here, and we've been doing this for a long time. Now, that having been said, msinichukie, lakini ukitaka nichukia, hiyo ni yako. Either way. So Bernard, but also, we also have to look at, now just my little contribution, maybe nitarudi baadaye, but I had to, as as a member of the cabinet hapa hivi, I had to say this, and you know my position, because mimi ndo natoaga watu hapa, hata si Bernard, ni mimi nitakutoa hapa haraka. But anyway, that's ye imepita, shetani amepita. Bernard, but you can start reading, and I hope everybody that is watching that you can start reading what is happening. Why even we are deteriorating here is because people are uncomfortable, including yours truly, Kenyan with love, or Kenya Mkora, however you want to call it. People are uncomfortable with the decisions that are being made, and we don't have hatuna mwelekeo. So hata mimi saa zingine Bernard nakaa kando najiuliza, you know me already nisha file kutoka nini ODM, but I'm not gonna come here and then castigate Baba. I mean, like somebody said, I mean, Baba sasa akitaka kujua politically, what can you do? Just the way you said, hiyo nini yako umevaa, hiyo tai yako umevaa. Sasa mimi naweza kuja nikwambie tai yako ni red na naona ni ya blue, na wewe umepanda kwenda ukaichukua kutoka kwa closet. So what is this? I mean, yes, let's tell Baba what he's doing wrong. Like me, I will say, I don't like what he did, but also I'm not going to make it my everyday meal. Or, tushinde tukipigana hapa hivi and then we spoil a channel. And also, yes, saa zingine I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Kama yani ameenda UDA, aende UDA. Si hata si Wakamba. Bena sisi tulinyang'anywa yellow na tukakubali. Wakamba. Yellow si ilienda.
Amuende uniform.
Unipate na yellow, sina kitu yote ya yellow kwa nyumba yangu. Sasa hata orange nimeanza kutupa. Mungeenda mwanyang'anye bwana.
Muachie black. Chukua yellow.
Umesikia kina Badu wameanza kulalamika, wanasema wanaweza toka. Sasa now we don't know, we are in a limbo, and I can understand everybody is having an issue where we are, the Gen Zs pia. Sasa hatujui hata kuna maandamano, kuna nini. Jimmy Wanjigi ndio anajificha kwa mashimo, kumbe kwa nyumba yake. Kuna yani we're in a crossroads in our country where we need to debate seriously. And me, I don't know, Bernard. I mean, maybe when I come back, I just wanted to read the Riots Act, because naona watu wakikusumbua, and I can see you're not, uwezi mimi naeza. So I just wanted to read that Riots Act. Rudisha nani, Atikat, akuje, na omera yake, na nini, let's have a conversation. Nikifika mahali naeza, nitakuja niingie nione kama naeza kimbiza. Lakini mtu akinisumbua nitatoa. Na sichekagi, naeza toa kila mtu na nifunge hii kitu. Nibaki peke yangu. Bernard, thank you so much, and thank you for always hosting. I know it's been hard, and thank you for everything that you do and all the time that you take. And we need to respect this channel. This is not a cartoon moment here. We come here to have articulate. There's a time, Bernard, we used to come with the math and everything, all the data and everything. This is where, Bernard, people need to understand this is not a channel to just come and laugh. This is a channel where we articulate things that even they end up in other mainstream medias. Thank you. Asante sana Domi for giving me your time. I really do appreciate.
You are muted, Bernard.
Somebody is muting me without my knowledge. It's okay. Thank you, Mkora. I hope you will make it in good time, but my time is gone. Wewe ukikuja utaanzisha feed yako. It's important. I'm happy that you have brought that into perspective. It is important that we remain what we ought to remain, and that is objective and focused. But the people who want to explode emotionally, we will not stop them, but we will not allow them to turn our channel into their marketplace for their explosion. You're free to express yourself, yes, but the hate must stop. The personalization of the war must stop. Let's focus on what must we do to be saved. What must we do to save Kenya and deliver Kenya? People being appointed into a cabinet secretary doesn't mean anything in terms of what we want, we will get if we fight for it. So it is not a matter of saying that because Ruto has put together his cabinet, he's now too strong to be beaten or to be ousted. If he has committed the crime, he has already committed the crime. Wangapi watu wanafanya makosa alafu wanakimbilia kujificha alafu wanafuatwa wanapatikana wanalipa. So let's drop the excuses. Let's do what we need to do. Domi, make your message, and then from there we can begin to call it a day.
Yeah, okay. I was watching Jimmy Wanjigi akiongea mchana, and was talking about the figures. I believe, there is somebody, there's some years back we used to talk of, we need facts. But somebody came and said, no, not just facts alone. We need facts and figures. We can know that, okay, this a patient is sick. A patient has malaria. Yeah, so we need to take him to hospital. But there is one thing knowing that he has malaria. There is another thing knowing that this guy has malaria plus. Yeah. So this guy was bringing us some figures, and I was like, what? I don't know how authentic that information is, but I think we are facing a real issue. It can't be all the time we are borrowing. Kenya is borrowing, and it's like they borrow like 1.5 trillion, and they're only using 300 billion for some project. It's crazy. If we have to reject Ruto for some, if we cannot reject Ruto for many other things, that should be a reason to get that guy out. We should not give this person a lot of time, a lot of space to just borrow and do nothing. In fact, according to me, the issue to me is not so much about the tax that is being misused. My greater issue is the amount that is being borrowed, that is being misused. The tax, if it's tax alone, then we can say, okay, hiyo ni pesa yetu. At least we know that, okay, ametumia vibaya, mshahara imeisha katikati ya mwezi, sasa hizo siku zingine tutakula maji na chumvi, tutakula ugali na maji na chumvi, mwezi ishe. But now the first thing is that he's borrowing. He borrows and brings that money, and that money that is being borrowed is not using for anything, and everything is being taken unconstitutionally. And it's like, I was shocked to understand that in Mozambique people refuse to pay the debt, and it's like, mwenye alichukua ashughulike naye adipe, because that's not, it did not come to be. He did against the law. The Swiss bank, I think it's Swiss, that was giving them the loan, they did not take, they did not do due diligence to find out whether this loan they are giving is going to the right thing. How legal was it? I'm very sure at this point, IMF and whatever, the America, they know that this guy has been doing these things against the law. We don't have the estimate. We don't have the how do you call it? We don't have the budget estimate. What is it? Tunaenda kutumia hii pesa kufanyia nini? We don't have the estimate. Now, how are you getting the money against what? Okay, haujatuambia tunaenda kutengeneza hii barabara na pesa ngapi. Now, you are borrowing against what? If I want to borrow to buy a Nissan, I know I'm going to borrow probably 5 million for the Nissan. So I go to borrow at least something like 5 or 6 million, so that the rest probably will recover. Now, I don't know the amount of I don't know the price of the Nissan. I'm going to borrow against what? There's some things even a layman cannot, even a layman cannot understand this. Cannot get it into his head. I think Kenyans, let's not give this. Okay, this is what I believe. Probably whether the Gen Z tactic would work or not. To me, I believe this. This man must have the hardest time if he has to stick to power until 2027. He must have the hardest time until that 2027. So that he does not borrow more, so that he does not have time to plan to steal election, so that he does not have space even to think. That is the way we are supposed to put this man to. And hii mambo bado tena nasema tafadhali, let us put our focus on the main thing. Stories za kuongea wewe kitu kidogo sijui Kalonzo alifanya nini, now everybody is stoning Kalonzo. Kidogo Raila sijui amejoin government, we are stoning Raila. Now we focus on Raila instead of focusing on Ruto. I'll give an example of this. Shetani ameenda akaiba pesa kwa bank. Sasa nakimbia na pesa. Then wakati anakimbia tuseme is stolen 1 million. Wakati anakimbia na 1 million, then he throws up like 2,000. Then Dominic jumps on the 2,000 anakamata. Wakati ameshika hiyo 2,000, everybody starts stoning Dominic. Yeah, you are stoning Dominic for taking 2,000, and you are leaving this guy is running away with money. Man, yeah, let's have the right focus on what we are supposed to do, because at the end of the day, you are going to stone Dominic. You take the 2,000, which will not be enough for you. Haitawatosha hata kama mtamunyang'anya the 2,000, haitawatosha. Instead of chasing the person who is having 1 million shillings, you are stoning this guy, and the guy is laughing and going. Imagine saizi ati Ruto has the guards kwenda nini, anapanda ndege, is going outside the country. This guy should not go. In fact, he will be thinking like, right now I have Raila, so people are going to concentrate. Is going to distort people, and he realizes nobody is interested even to listen about Raila. Nobody will be, that is what is supposed to be done. Nobody is interested even to listen to what Raila is talking. People are just targeting on him. Ruto must go. Ruto, we are about you. Why did you get us this guy? How did you get us to recommend here? That's what we are supposed to do. Yeah, and if we do that, I think we are by the end of this year, Ruto tutakuwa tumemweka kona yenye anadeserve kukaa, and we should not give him even space to move anywhere. Okay, that's my contribution.
Okay, sawa, thank you Domi, interesting indeed. Now naomba tuanze kufungasha. Helen anasema wacha let us mourn Raila. Raila is not dead now. Mwachanani na huyu mzee. Na mzee ako retirement. Mnajua hata akiharibu his political career. He has finished it. He has used it. Let's concentrate on our own career. But I want us to get this in perspective. I was talking about opportunistic war. Opportunistic war is, of course, I would draw that from the Bible. Everybody remembers the story of Gideon. Reverend Lala has been talking about Gideon here and the Midianites. You all remember the story about Gideon being sanctioned by God to go and chase away the Midianites and take back what belongs to Israel. And one thing significant happens when he goes into this particular battle. He comes with 33,000 people to go and help him fight. But what happens? God tells him that number is too high. He cannot lead them into war with 33,000 people. So he says we must reduce the number. Gideon says, I've recruited these ones, I've tested them, I'm sure they can fight. God said, no, go give them my first exam. There's the exam you give yourself, there's the exam that God gives. And he said, go give them the first exam. Number one exam is go ask, is anybody afraid? Let them go home. And 22,000 out of 33,000 went home because they were afraid. So God points out and says, are you now seeing the kind of trouble you are carrying to the battlefield? These people looked like they are serious for war, but they are not. So you should not bank on them. They have gone. So the remaining 10,000, I want you to follow. I will be landing shortly. I'm happy Kenya would love is here, so we'll proceed. But now God tells him the 10,000 are still too many for me to hand the Midianites into your hand. Let's go and do what? Reduce them further. And say, give them the second exam, the second test. What is the second test? How they deal with their personal appetite. Take them to the river and see how they quench their thirst. And when they got to the river, 9,700 buried their head in the river, forgot there was a war, forgot there were Midianites, forgot there was Israel to save because it was their turn to eat. Okay? They forgot about everything else. And God says, you see, if you took them to the camp, they will eat and forget to fight and restore Israel. So all the people who did not mind and care about the war, all the people who went in the river and forgot everything else, the 9,700 should go home. Then his army that was 33,000 remains only 300 people. Okay? Now, these 300 people, he's going to do what? To fight a fully fledged army that has come to camp in their land. That means they have been occupying. So they are armed and dangerous. This is what I mean, and the reason why I'm sharing this. God says the weapon you're going to use for this war, there are two things: torch and trumpet. Torch and trumpet. Now, you know that that is dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that there is an army that is already occupying the land, okay? They are armed and dangerous. Then instead of you, there was what? There is torch and trumpet. And so they are 300, they are going to confront thousands and thousands of soldiers. And God does not allow them to sneak into the army and kill a few. Okay? God says you will go near the camp. When you arrive at the camp, you will blow the trumpet. That means wake them up. Okay? And then you will lift the torch so that they know where you are. Now look at that. If you're going to fight the most fierce army, the army that is already in the land, and you are few, and they are many, what is the logical thing? You sneak into the camp silently, begin to capture them from one end, slaughter as many as you can. But God's own approach is don't sneak on these people. Don't take advantage of their sleep. Don't go and sneak to fight them. When you arrive at the camp, wake them up. Show them where you are. And let them know you have come to take over. That is the kind of war I want to fight. This war of let's beat the enemy because he's already on the floor, let's finish him before he wakes up, that is not proper winning. That is not proper victory. Proper victory is let the enemy wake up. Let's fight each other the way we used to fight in the estate. Ili tuheshimiane. Tumalizane. Kama kila mtu anaona nani alichapwa akalia, nani alichapwa akableed, nani alitoka na nose bleeding. Ijulikane nani alishinda, nani alishindwa. I'm saying this to bring us to this understanding as Kenyans. Let's not be in this battle and this fight against Ruto for opportunistic approach. Let's take full responsibility. Full responsibility is kama Ruto amelala, tumuamshe kwanza ili tukimchapa achue nani alimchapa. Kama serikali yake imejihami na iko dangerous na iko ready, but let us also arm ourselves and be dangerous and go and fight like men. Not this opportunistic, kamefunga macho, wacha tukamalize kabla kafungue macho. Then it means we are the weaker ones and we are the ones taking advantage of his weakness. It doesn't matter how well William Ruto organizes himself with his administration. It doesn't matter which armies he calls to join him in his fight. We must, as a people, be determined to get the job done conclusively. I hope that's clear. So, hii opportunistic kama tumalize nini, if Raila is supporting Ruto now, it's difficult to fight Ruto. Why? Ruto has already committed the crimes. It doesn't matter who supports him. If we want Kenya back, we can get Kenya back anytime. Let's not lose focus. Let's do what we are supposed to do. But kama mnataka mpaka Raila na Ruto wa separate ndio mpate nguvu ya kupigana na Ruto, basi shinikiza wa kuwe separated. Kwangu mimi, it doesn't matter and it doesn't make any difference. What is most important is that we must obtain a better Kenya. Kenya for all Kenyans. And it is only possible when we are willing to pay the price to get that Kenya. The greatness of a man is determined by the cause he lives for and his willingness to pay the price, not to take advantage, to pay the price to get where he's going. So this issue of now Ruto is fortified, now Ruto is strong, now Ruto is going around the country, we are defeated because he's going around the country. How? If we stopped him for the first time, we can stop him the second time, the third time, and the fourth time. Let's do what we need to do. We re-strategize, we rearrange, we keep going. Thank you. Now, kuna swala hapa, mimi nikingatuka. Kenyan would love, kuna deni wanasema hapa hujalipa. So,
wewe relax. Yo na dila huko chini. Achana na tunai na nini.
Mama yangu alipika changa kanipeleka shule kusoma. Okay?
Wewe, wacha.
Changa.
Wewe unachoma bwana.
No, mimi na confess tu mbele ya watu ni changa.
Hapana, wewe hiyo iko huko nyuma watu wote waonani.
So nikiuliza swali na chipungu. Lakini utaniambia baadaye. Asante. Ngoja wewe. Ngoja mimi nafunga na unakuachia hapa.
Sasa unaniacha peke yangu hapa na nilikuwa nataka kukuchezea nini? I wanted to just contribute kabla twende.
Kwanza nilikuwa nataka watu wasikilize hii. Inaonekana watu hawakusikiliza hii.
In Canaan, we must embrace reconciliation. We cannot get to Canaan, a divided nation that is half bitter and half happy. In my government, there will be no revenge. I pledge to be the president of all. I have made this decision because I did not choose my liberation cause. The liberation cause chose me. And when I was tempted to run away from it, the cause always found me. This is why I always found a place in my heart to reconcile. I shook the hand of Mr. Daniel Toroitich arap Moi in March 2002, or President Mwai Kibaki in February 2008, and of my brother President Uhuru Kenyatta in March 2018. And at this stage, I want to pay tribute to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for showing statesmanship and embracing dialogue and agreeing to work together for the betterment of our country. I want to assure Kenyans that we will continue with this handshake doctrine, the doctrine of unclenching the fist for the sake of Kenya. I will shake the hand of my rivals and pay the political price if I have to. I will shake their hand if I win, and I will shake their hand if I don't. Because I love Kenya more than I love Raila Amolo Odinga.
Mr. Bernard, that's a very powerful statement, and I see where you're going with it. But also now, there comes a time, sir, my chair, there comes a time that you also have to think about this. And this is where maybe we are having an issue, because Kenyans are wako mahali, and just wacha tufunge pamoja. If nobody comes in, please just give me this. I just came here to have a conversation with you, and now a decent conversation, sile ya kurukiana. Because I think Kenyans malu wamefika why we are even having this kind of back and forth saizi nika kila mtu askizani and everything. And you can it's very evident, not even in this channel, even other channels, because I spook around and kind of go to other channels, and even the mainstream media. Sometimes I'm not a big person of the mainstream medias, but sometimes because I've been trying to do my own research. Now the people who are where you're seeing what you just watched. Now, tell me the people who are actually this other side. It's a little bit long. Just give me this is about 3 minutes. Lakini it's just me and you. Alafu tutafunga pamoja. Now, give me this. Tell me now who also is also thinking about this. Because yenyewe ni ukweli tuliambiwa aje wajinga waliisha Kenya. So, let's watch this one now. And then we can have tuangalie in a very, tangible kind of way of talking. We see why now there's a problem, why people are not even understanding each other. Now, here comes this senator.
I do not believe the Senate had no idea that there was a nation on our forest, and we are supposed to actually leverage that internationally and get funds out of it. Have you heard anybody talk about it? No. I mean, everything in our country, the point, and I'm not pontificating. I am not saying that now I'm the cleanest human being. No. What I'm saying is this system is so broken that unless we begin to tell ourselves, let us stop this nonsense, we don't have a country. In Kenya today, our hardware is okay. Our roads are passable. We can get 1 or 2. You can take a flight which is stinking, and KQ is already dead. I told you, they can't even buy spare parts. They owe 20 billion shillings every year. It's given 10, 15 billion, then the money is finished. I mean, all that stuff is there. And yet, the truth is, and what I've realized by being in the Senate, and many people may not know that I've been in Member of Parliament for more than 20 years, is that the software is cooked. You don't have a single government financial platform on how the government pays its bills, either to contractors, it's personnel, it's anything. Everything is staccato. Everything has been cut, so that people easily are able to siphon off the cash. All right? And that system is so messed up. That is why I was telling you, Maina, 70 billion, Kibaki took primary school kids to school for free from class 1 to class 8 at 29 billion. Free education. Then Kibaki put, I think it was about 6 or to 7 billion shillings he put into help for people who are going to university. Could actually borrow money at half and whatever, which at that time I disagreed with, because to me, so many of our people have not really left the poverty line. So why are you taking a student who's going to train as a medical doctor, who lives in a quarter piece of land in Kibra, and the parents are not able to raise money even for him to get clothes to wear. And you are telling me that you are taking this child who's an A student who's going to study medicine and you want him to pay 1.5 million shillings a year? Are you serious? And then the amount of money you put in the Ministry of Education, check. Let Kenyans Google. 636 billion shillings for free education. Take 270 billion for your paying of teachers, paying of ECD teachers, and all the consequentials. You are still left with 300 billion. Maina, do you know that all the books that are supplied to the schools are printed by individuals who are in the Ministry of Education? Why would a minister walk into an area and the first thing he does is give a school 200 million shillings, when another school, which could be about 10 kilometers from that place, would not even receive a million? It's because that 100 million is what is given to that school, but you can bet 70 million of it has to come back to the ministry. And that is not uniquely for Ministry of Education. That is what happens in health. That is what happens in every damn place is leaking. And we are just sitting around and looking and saying, alipiga dili yake, iliingia, squeeze me, mayu.
So Bernard, I don't know if you see the contrast in that. You know, there's a political part, but there's also the reality part of it, and I think that's where most Kenyans are. I don't know what you think, because I've been taking a leave of this, you know, just being away kidogo to just actually just look at things, because I've gone back to the books, and you know, I've gone to the books, I've gotten, you know, some very damning things, yani, when you look at the finances and everything. And I think that's where, like, the hapo ndio mimi, I'm not going to kusema na kosana na Raila, lakini mimi nilitoka, I mean, I'm getting away from ODM, but that is where I'm getting away, not just Raila, but all the politicians, because at times, I think this is what, not just the Gen Zs, because it was not Gen Zs, it was the movement that was heated up, is people were starting to look at this. And this is what we've been tumekuwa tukitafuta hapa kwa hii channel, to do civic education, to where saizi unapata watu, there's this guy that speaks like Ruto, unapata mtu anapanda ma3 ndio aongelesha watu kwa, you know, kwa ma3 and stuff like that. When you look at that versus the politics, because the politics, kila mtu anaweza sema baba Ruto nini, but then you come and realize hata saa zingine kwanza it blindfolded, ilinichapa off guard, because how do you stay a whole 3 years, a whole 10 years, ukiita mtu ni mwizi? Kuna mtu hapa ameniuliza, Mudhama hata ako UDA kweli hata siku hizi? You know, but hiyo kigeugeu versus the reality. You've had what Onyoka, and I mean, if you watch the whole thing, maybe you can go look. He came with all the documents. Yani mpaka hii kitu ya kukuja ya nini ya KQ kutoka kuuzwa. The documents are there and everything. I saw them. I fished for them because I didn't understand what is happening. So there's a virtue of, yes, the politics and the things that the politicians do, but also there's a virtue of actually what is happening. I don't know, where ni pastor, you understand right versus wrong. So maybe I brought to you a conversation of two videos, the one you played, which is so political, and this one that I played, which has numbers. And Kenyans are divided between those two.
That need not to be a dividing factor. That need to be a reality factor. Okay? One of the things we must walk away from as Kenyans is adversarial political engagement, whereby that we differ politically now makes us permanent enemies, that we should not meet simply because you are in UDA and I am in Azmio or I'm in ODM. That is the reason why I was playing that our politics must not affect our nationalhood. And when the nation needs us, we should not let the politics stop us from doing what we are required to do as responsible people. On the Onyonga and the corruption thing, We were talking about it, I think, 2 days ago. Hearing what revelations that Jimmy Wanjigi is bringing, sickening to the stomach, sickening to the core. I came to conclusion, and the conclusion is, hey, Kenya is corruption in Kenya is not a vice. Corruption in Kenya is not a mistake. Corruption in Kenya is a government project, and it's project number one. Before we pay the teachers, before we pay the doctors, before we pay the children, before we do anything else, including debts, we must pay corruption. And so our entire government system is corrupt. And the people being appointed and placed in those places, like the civil servants and all that, I think the only approach towards this is to do what Kibaki did. You remember the Ringera surgery of the judges in the court then, when Kibaki came into office?
Yes.
We must have that kind of surgery, because the civil servants are in it, the government is in it, the politicians are in it, the police are in it, and probably the army is in it. And so what we have here is a rotten country. And so it makes no difference. And that's why when Raila was talking about he will give people 6,000, and he knows where he will get it from. Okay, he will ensure that there is free education up to university level, and he knows where he will get the money. Okay, then it makes sense. This country is rich. It has the money. It has the resources, but they all end up in wrong hands. And the sad part of it is deliberate. It's not a mistake. It's not, ulisikia ile kitu ya KEMSA. Ati nilikuwa napita KEMSA nikaambiwa ingia hapa ulete supply ya syringes. Na mtu akapata contract, akasign, akalipwa. That is the mess we are in. And to get out of it, we must, one, own up. Own up. Now that's the starting point. Own up. Own up means we are in a mess. Mtu yule ambaye ako na shida na anakataa kwamba hana shida hawezi kusaidiwa. So number one step, let's own up. Our country is gone. Our country is not governable the way it is. There is something Paul Mwite said. Paul Mwite said about the old constitution. He said, if we continue with the old constitution, he said, even if we go to heaven and bring back an angel to be president in Kenya under the old constitution, he will still be corrupt. And so we are back at the same place, where corruption is the main business and every other thing is an accessory. That is it. Everything else, education, healthcare, agriculture, all of them are accessories. The main business in Kenya is corruption. And until we accept that and then begin to address it, the better. And it's not anything, it is not leaving out anybody. Because hata kanisani, baptism card tunakuuzia. Okay? Atukubatizi siku hizi. Si watu wa ID wanataka baptism card. Hey. Na una, okay, kuja nione kando na unalipa hela na kupa baptism card. Kubatizwa utafikiria baada.
Na nikienda kwa Mungu pia lazima nitalipa.
Kwa Mungu sasa ndio ngoma. Kwa sababu huko atakuuliza ubatizo ulifanywa wapi? Hakuna. Uko na kadi? Yes. Sasa kadi ulipataje bila ubatizo?
Na ulilipa pesa ngapi?
Ndio hiyo. So what I'm saying is we are in a bad place, and that's why I don't want to trivialize this struggle. I feel at times that we trivialize this struggle and think it's a cheap fight that we are in. This is not a cheap fight. This is a deep-rooted problem that you will not shake by just, even demonstrating. This is deep-rooted evil in this land. And so when you see people surrender, it's not because they are weak.
Actually, Bernard, you bring a
bad.
question. You bring a question
Yes.
to my mind that I want to ask you. Actually, since we're here, just the two of us for now, Bernard, which is the one constitutional right in Kenya that I'm not going to talk Africa? I'm just going to say Kenya. One birth constitutional right that you, as a Kenyan, someone has that is free.
That is free.
Yes, one. Just one. Let's talk in Billy.
I don't think so, because I feel like in Kenya we are just taken through circus. Because if we would have said that in Kenya we have succeeded to have freedom to vote, okay, we have the liberty to vote, but our vote doesn't count. So the liberty we have is queuing and voting, but the results we have no control.
No, Bernard, I'm going to talk about politics.
No, that's what it's a right. You ask me about one right that is working.
Yes, okay.
So it's a right for us to vote, but even that voting is not what? It's not. It doesn't work for us. It works for the people we voted for or voted against, and all of it is because our vote doesn't matter. Everybody has decided how the outcome will be, and we are only used as accessories. Yani sisi tupitishe alafu wao waamue. Sisi tupitishe hao waamue. And so our election system is flawed. Our education system is flawed. Our healthcare system is flawed. Everything about this country, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. I don't see even our children going through school. You see, like my girls, I have to do extra training to them because they are going through the classes, but you still see they are not prepared for life. They are not growing mentally and psychologically the way they ought to. So the parent has to support. And now, like with CBC, the parent is now the real teacher. The teacher in the school is to give exam, and he gives not exam, homework. Akipatia homework ya mtoto, anapatia homework ya mzazi. Na wewe ndio unalipa school fees. Nikubaya ndugu yangu, nikubaya.
Aya, ukizaliwa hivi birth certificate iko na kwanza kuzaliwa lazima ulipe. Birth certificate lazima ulipe. ID lazima ulipe. Maji lazima ulipe. Chakula lazima ulipe kwa sababu mzazi ndio atakulipia. What is it in us that actually that you can brag of Kenya and say that these are my birthrights other than kitu yenye jailipo na kitu yenye endi kwa serikali? Is there a birthright? Because I can tell you, listen, I have my daughter here, and my daughter mimi sijailipia birth certificate yake.
Kitu ya bure Kenya ni kulipa tax.
So you see, we have something wrong in our country that nobody has rights. We think we have rights, and that is why hata kutembe usiku unasikia msako. I've always been saying this: you have not even right of kutembea, lazima upeane kitu kidogo. Kwanza kutembea utashikwa hata ujue umeshikiwa nini. So Bernard, there's a systemic, geographical, political, economical, everything combined. Something that has to change, and I think that is what these guys that were coming up and the guys that are coming up right now, they're starting to look. Especially me, I had to sit back and start looking at these guys and even go down, even to do more research, get the numbers of what mifuko zilitobokea wapi and everything. And I asked myself that question: what is it the right that a Kenyan has in Kenya today? And Bernard, I didn't come up with that. I don't know why we pay taxes. We pay for what? Anyways, like you said, it's all a bandit economy, and actually we don't have a government. We have a government that actually I don't know the right way to say this, my brother. I think we have a government that is not a government to govern the people, but to oversee the movement of money or the corruption. I mean, they don't govern the country. And so when I see some people going into the government, especially people who I had so much trust in, it just pisses me off. I'm sorry, Pastor, to use that language. It pisses me off because actually it makes me just feel so bad because they're going to oversee the same. I mean, it's just ni tu conduit of, I mean, nani atapata nini, itaenda wapi, itafanya nini na vitu kama hizo. I mean, there's nothing they are doing, bwana. At least give, at squeeze hata napenda Uhuru, give Uhuru credit, we could see something. Give, I don't know, Kenyatta Mika kuna kitu alifanya. Give Kibaki, at least tuliona Thika Highway. But this guys is just anybody that goes to the government or want to be in the government is just going to oversee. And that's why we need public service, Bernard. I don't know, sijui kule tutafika, because I know other countries like here can go to a pediatrician and it will be for free. You know, right now, if I need medical help, even if I didn't have insurance, which I do, I can go to any hospital and I'll be treated. In
No,
Kenya, utaenda urudishwe nyumbani.
That cannot be without being made to. As primary school kids, that is how it was to be. It used to be. You go to hospital, you get treated, no payments, no nothing. Even the half exercise book used to come with it from home. That's the only payment. And the medicine was serious. The clinical officers were effective. Those dispensaries. So what we have is a government that exists for being a government, but not taking the responsibility of being a government. It wants to be supported by the people, but not support the people. They want the people to be used as instruments while walipie bills or sustain kama government, but they don't do anything for the people. Even the security, they are not offering it. They are killing us. And so we are in a mess, and we must be able to rise above what's happening. The issue of people joining government or not joining government, it's an issue that I think we don't even have control over it. We don't have control over it. And that's one place that Kenyans, we must appreciate. I deal with people. But one of the things that makes me very easy with people is that I don't take on something that belongs to someone else. Whatever someone else is supposed to do, whatever someone else is supposed to decide to do, I don't take it upon myself. Okay? At times I quarrel with my people here when they don't want to use their head to think and they want to engage my own. So I protect my own. I say, you go and decide what to do, because you are refusing to decide so that I decide, and when it fails, you will blame me. Okay? So there is a way of us working as Kenyans, and that is, sisi hatuwezi kwenda kuita Wandai tumfungie kwa nyumba kama anataka kwenda kwa Ruto. Hatuwezi chukua Raila tukafungie yeye kwa ile kizingiti ile mnafunganga mbuzi asiende kwa Ruto kama anataka kwenda. Hatuwezi fungia Joho kwenda kwa UDA kama ameamua kwenda huko. We don't have control over that, do we? Now, if we don't have control over that, why are we exercising a control we don't have? Why can't we do what we can do and be responsible for what we can do, other than wanting to control somebody we can't control? Hapo ndio labda my perspective is different.
No.
We want
are okay with that.
to manage somebody who is not under our docket, is not under our jurisdiction.
No, Bernard, I agree with you, and I mean, see, I listen to this channel hata kama siko hapa. No, I agree with everything that you say. Kila mtu abebe mzigo wake. You know, see if, and the one thing, like I was just talking with some friends of mine, and I was saying, Bernard, the one thing that I would be very happy is that maybe Mungu atuonekanie and the government get people just decide, you know what, we're taking that right kabisa, that section 1 of our constitution, using whatever means, either 247 or even 6, and you remember we still have a case in court, however, and the government just falls. I myself, the people that had been looking for, like, I mean, nilikuwa na wafuata, like those kina Jaws that you're talking, the kina Mbadis, the people who have gone to dine with whatever it is. I would want to see where they would be, because forever will I ever want to see them come back and tell me that this person is bad and something, because Bernard, there's something wrong in kudanganya. Udanganyifu ni kitu mbaya sana. So for me, I would want to see them go, all of them, including now, na nisiwayo na moja akikuja ati sijui ati nimeenda nimeona huko ni kubaya, now I'm coming back, sijui cause tide imechange, sijui nini. I would want all of them a clean sweep. You see, like Bangladesh, clean sweep, toa kila kitu, start afresh. People who are straight, public servants, waende wote walitudanganya. Joe said alisimama, mimi sitawahi fanya hata shetani akikuja. Nani huyu badi akatuambia hata mpatie skank yake. Bernard, if you can speak like that and still come back and not even explain to the people what you're doing, then you're just as wepiani Zakayo kama Zakayo, you're just as dirty as them. So that is why I'm saying people are feeling kind of, what do you call this?
So how do you expect them to come and tell you that it is bad in there, or it's rotten in there? Or who stops them from telling you that?
No one. I mean, it's their choice. I'm just talking about mine. I mean,
what I'm saying is, Mato, you remember that story, police? Ile story ya polisi akienda kushika mvuta banki.
Akasema acha kwanza avute kidogo ndio
ingie kwa system ndio evidence ndio kwenda forensic evidence. Probably watu wameenda kuvuta banki kidogo ndio warudi ikiwa kwa system, ndio tujue kwamba kumbe huku kuna banki. Wapo mimi namalizia hapo, wewe tutoke hapa turudi.
Hapo umenishika, funga channel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been nice. Mr. Bernard, funga channel wetu kalale bwana.
Thank you guys. Let's see each other when we see each other. God bless you.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunakaa kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako.
Nasikia watu wanasema baba ametusaliti. Between baba kutusaliti na sisi kusaliti baba, nani amesaliti mwingine?
Inapeangwa, it mostly goes to foreign ministries. So baba is overqualified for that position.
To build this railways for Africa. So now he's thinking about tumemkataa kama baba wetu.
Unaweza kuwa kuna mtoto ulizaa ukapatia nchi ikuwe inamfanya vile inataka.
Uhuru has been working very hard. Ruto akaenda huko na nguvu. Ruto was never invited in the inauguration.
Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Card Talk.
Open Forum Political Discussion Show. The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development.
Tukutane Sound Card Talk.